still make it. So we got to go take it. We got to go take it. I can tell you what I've been through, but I'm ready to show you where I'm about to go. Talk that talk, George. I can tell you what I've been through, but I'm ready to show you where I'm about to go. Life ain't never been easy for me, but I don't make excuses. I make results. And I got a PhD in applying that pressure. So I got to keep applying it. You got to keep applying it. We got to keep applying it. We big dogs. We big dogs. And the moment you posed as a threat, you became a threat. And now all eyes on you. It's takeover season. Let's get it. Big dog. Yeah, that's real. The person hurt you, okay, but it's your responsibility to heal. It's your responsibility to heal. I've been there. I've been there when I fed a lot of people. And they watched me starve. Talk that talk, George. Talk that talk. I've been there. That's pain. It hurt me. I helped other people eat, but they watched me starve. I've been there. I know what pain feel like. To be named after somebody that you haven't seen in 12, 13 years. I know what pain look like. I know what pain look like. But it won't become my identity. I wouldn't allow it to become my identity. Because I have my own family now. I have my own kids. I have my wife. I don't want to project my pain. I don't want to project everything I went through on my family, my kids. I know how to feel. But you have to make a decision. Is you gonna live in that pain, or you gonna grow from that pain? But I need you to do something for me. I need you to confess what hurting you. Talk that talk, George. I need you to confess what's hurting you. Confession is the best medicine. It may taste nasty leaving the tongue, but it's good for the spirit. Detox. Get that detox in. I know how to feel. Don't cry about what you go through. Understand what you go through. And be thankful what you go through. The war wounds you have on you, that's a symbol of power. That's a symbol of strength. Everybody don't have no war wounds on them. Everybody don't have no war wounds on them because they haven't been through nothing. And you went through something because you're trying to get to something. Talk that talk, George. You went through something because you're trying to get through something. And you're the chosen one. And God knew he was doing what he chose you. God knew that you wasn't gonna give up. God knew that you don't have a problem with putting things on your back and turn into that big dog. Because you know God went before you. You know God went before you. And now you open a lot of people's eyes. Because they need to see for themselves. Because God knows a lot of people are seers and then believers. Talk that talk, George. But your war wound gonna make them believe. They know it had to be God. It couldn't be human. Nobody on earth can allow you to do what you do except the man above. Yeah, sure. Yes, Lord. Talk that talk, George. There's a lot of big dogs out here. Don't make a decision trying to please everybody. Talk that talk, George. Don't make a decision trying to please everybody. Because once they can't control you, that's when they call you stubborn. That's when they call you greedy. That's when they call you a sellout. But the business was good when y'all was selling out. Talk that talk, George. That business was good when y'all was selling out. But now that their well run dry, they trying to question your character. They trying to question your character. You put so many people on, and now so many people have something to say. But if they didn't feed you when you were starving, then don't let them tell you how to fix your plate. Woo! Listen to me. If they didn't feed you when you were starving, don't let them tell you how to fix your plate. They always be the people who did so little. They always had so much to say. But let them talk. Let them talk. Because you pressure. You big pressure. Turn them up, George. Big dog. Yeah, that's real. You just keep doing you. And don't you worry about what's being said about you. Talk that talk, George. Don't you worry about what's being said about you. Because every dog will have his day. Every dog will have his day. Talk to them, George. When they can't stop you, then they start telling lies. They start telling lies. And they'll try to bring you down so they can bring themselves up. Talk to them, George. These people are really trying to bring you down
liar.
So they can bring themselves up. And they'll try to play you as a fool. They try to play you as a fool. But they forgot that you got a PhD in common sense. They forgot that you got a PhD in common sense. And when things ain't making sense, you move different. You got to learn to protect yourself before you protect somebody else. Facts. Big dog. Yeah, that's real. Quit being afraid of war. And put on your armor. Put on your gear. Nobody gonna give you nothing in this world. They don't give you nothing. I'm telling you, a person's more threatened by a person who got their drive and hunger to them than a person who got 20 years in the game. They don't got too comfortable, but I'm still hungry. I'm still hungry. You still hungry. We still hungry. We gonna turn all the way up. We can't be stopped. We won't be stopped. We pressure. We big dogs. Don't forget that. Turn them up, George. I love y'all. Yeah, that's real.
I'm scared of this Paul Enslaved guy.
We gotta go hundreds and thousands of years back to even find a story of a great motherfucker to even figure out how to partially embody that life and lifestyle. I didn't do all this going, I'm gonna get money, fame, attention, and be a hero. I said, I'm gonna step out into faith, into what's true and what's right, and see what the fuck my power really is and what's working with me. It's inherent hierarchical power and value systems. Doesn't matter what everyone else says the power is and the value is. You do this walk, and you're guaranteed a certain amount of power and value because it's rare, because it's based in truth, and the world is living a lie, predominantly. It's a cause and effect based endeavor. You do this, you get this. You don't do this, you get this. It's been the same from the beginning of time. Culture and society is our enemy in a sense. Not that we have to do war on it, but culture, society, and what it creates is not your friend, and it doesn't benefit you. It takes you away from who and what you truly are and gives you a set of value systems that are not inherently true or valuable. They're just valuable to that society and that culture. You don't even need a cosmic explanation to know I'm going to be a man as it pertains to my apprehension, and I'm not foregoing that for anyone else's coercion and duress. And I'm not a slave of the state. If anything, I'm a child of God, and I'm a servant of that and the truth. And I'm in a covenant with that force or that thing, if you want to call it. It's basically just pure understanding who and what you are versus what you're not here to do. You can ignore it to your own detriment. You all have to continue to serve some vision that's not yours indefinitely, and you don't know when it ends. And by the time it does end, you're going to be too old and broken down and burnt out and tired to even give a fuck. I could do whatever the fuck I want every moment of my day. I'm guaranteed value. I live within my means. I have everything I need and then some, and I'm working toward a goal.
I'm scared of this Paul Enslaved guy.
And again, to me, the tiger that you don't believe in is the tiger that will eat you, right? You want to sit there and act like it's all going to just be cute and cuddly and go on forever and never consider the obvious common sense cause and effect. How are you living day to day, and what's the source of this beingness? And if you're not going to be the source of that beingness, you're dependent upon someone or something else. That's a fucked up place to be, especially in times of trouble.
Powerful new Gorilla Gem. We're back at it, folks. Eric Nellis is in the back. Let's bring him in. Eric Nellis, are you feeding back? Hello. Okay, we're good.
I can hear you good. Is my audio decent?
Yeah, I think we're good to go. We got broken system back there. Joshua, are you joining us today, or are you just be restreaming and hanging out back?
I'm restreaming as of right now. I'll hang out in the back, but yeah, I can come up for just a little bit. Anyways, first off, Merry Christmas. Appreciate that opening too, Paul. That was very motivational. And I had actually watched a couple of videos, a couple of shorts earlier today that were kind of speaking along the same line. So it's just odd that I haven't communicated with you at all about what you're doing today. And then you play some stuff that speaks right to me. And so if it's speaking to me, it's speaking to everybody, right? So
yeah, and that's not odd. That's synchronicity. And it's very normal when you start living in alignment with purpose, I found.
Yeah, no, and that's an excellent way to sum it up.
All right, well, happy holidays. Every day's a holy day here at Unslaved Industries, of course.
Merry Christmas. We already have some engagement coming back on the restreaming.
And happy Kwanzaa as well, okay?
Yeah.
I want to be clear. And Hanukkah, okay? And whatever the Asian folks celebrate, we're all inclusive here.
It's a beautiful thing.
This is why we just do usually the happy winter thing, right? We just go happy winter so we don't offend anybody. Go ahead. You were saying?
Oh, I was just saying hi to Eric. First time I think I've been on panel with him. So I just
first time, long time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Do you got anything that you want to address specifically, or should we just get on with the broadcast? Optics are high. Snafu crew
Um,
down in the
well,
chat.
like I said, we got some um, engagement as usual. Are you interested in hearing one of the titles of one of the videos somebody made about us restreaming?
I'll entertain it, I guess.
two sob sits. Wait, hold on. Two sob sits. Wait, sob sit losers united for a live stream.
Great. Again, Leslie's about to hit me with another 7 because we're gonna invest. So tell me all about how I'm a fucking loser, right? You can
Right.
say whatever you want online on a panel. I'm doing better than ever on all levels, and the people got my back. God's got me. Say whatever you like. Just keep putting gas in the tank, right? I'm not even looking at you. I got hater blockers on at this point. I'm like the horse, I got the blockers on. I can't even see you. I'm so in my own lane, so they could say whatever they want, do whatever they want. It doesn't affect me. Keep talking about me. It's free promotion, right? And
Yeah.
don't let me put a fucking billboard up one of these days and invest back in myself again and really go to the next level. And they're going to be sucking my dick with 2,000 live viewers. We won't see the viewers because YouTube will have the counter altered, but that's okay. All right, we'll know. You and I will know.
Hey, Paul, I just want to encourage you, definitely keep it up. There's going to be times and days where I want to join the panel, but I can't join the panel. But I'm happy that I'm able to join the panel here on December 25. I'm not offended, whatever people want to call this day. Some people are going to say Christmas Day. Some people are going to say Xmas. Somebody's going to say Monday. I'm good with Monday. Whatever.
The point
people
is
wanna
that
call it.
slaves are impervious to the illogical logic that we can apprehend on some level. What I mean by that is you guys have this whole thing surrounding December 25th that they gave you, and you realize we are the meta programmers as well. So we could create our own days. We could have our own holy procession, covenant that we live in, day-to-day communing, lifestyle, if you will. So we are the experiencer, the observer, and the meta programmer on some level. We can all reprogram with ourselves and each other, and we can co-create. So we can take whatever's put forth and do whatever with that, right? Play the hand that's dealt. And we can also redeal from time to time. So that's just the way that it is as far as I see it. So when they ask me about these days, I go, I try to live every day, as cliche as it sounds, in as much of a space of reverence and resolution and reconciliation as I can, right? And that brings me peace in this walk in faith, right? I don't need to get together with some folks 1, 2, 3, 5 days out of the year and manufacture some experience. I'm living it. I'm a part of it. It's in me, not on me or around me. So once you realize I am that am, there's nowhere to go from there. And you don't waste your time, energy, attention, and resources playing lowly worldly game with folks who have not recognized that state of consciousness.
Yeah.
You just leave to their regalia and their traditions.
That's probably one of the biggest challenges with me. I mean, is just because I'm still programmed into the matrix to some extent. The Lions, they won yesterday. I don't know if that has anything to do with me playing motivational shit or, putting positive vibes out there. But, I'm still plugged into the matrix a little bit. The Lions won their division yesterday.
Yeah, and now I'm going to have to go off on you because who gives a fuck about,
Right.
no offense, Steve Martin. I know he's an NFL football player, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't even give a fuck.
Hey,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So,
Well, I'm just saying, like, for the Lions, it's kind of like
no,
a Lion.
are we winning, bro? Are you winning? Right? I'm
That's
so
the
sick
thing,
of
that's-
these slaves who talk about we won. You didn't win shit. You're failing
right.
and losing.
Right, yeah, but that's where it ties in because, like, my whole life I've kind of had what's called like a Lions mentality, right? Where everything is going good, but it's going to collapse on you at the last minute, or you're never going to achieve something, or you're never going to do it, right?
That's your low self-esteem and self-worth, and you need to let go of that.
Yeah. So, I'm not saying that has, like the Lions winning has anything to do with me personally. I'm just saying, like, I feel a shift. I feel a positive shift, and a lot of things are working out. And I'm trying to, at the same time as keeping an eye on things in the matrix, kind of check out and kind of do what I need to do on my end.
Yeah, we can observe this shit, but not identify with it. Just like I'm observing the markets, and I may position myself at times and move in and move out to better my situation, but I'm not like part of it, man. I'm not identified with it. It's just a game. It's just a tool, right? It's just a move to a move. I find the better you start doing in life, the less you even give a fuck about money and the numbers,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Then what
Have no
happens
stake
if you're
the
in life?
outcome.
Exactly. What if you're an outcome-based person, right? Like they teach us, outcome-based education, Common Core. It's the perspective they give us. If you're in this for the money and numbers, what happens when you get that? Then what do? Now you're really fucked. This is what people don't get about consciousness. You can't be in it for that because you may get what the fuck you desire, and then there's nowhere to go from there. How do you sustain yourself and the energy and the purpose? Right. So you got to look beyond the worldly and the physical and the materialistic. It doesn't mean rebuke that and not use it. It's a tool. Right. But we don't identify with it because we know if you go up the ladder, you got to still come back down the ladder. Hopefully you could do it with grace. Your thoughts, expert panel?
yeah. Come back down the ladder in grace, right? Like fall off it, but still keep going.
Well, it is important that we don't have a stake. What gets people all riled up is having a stake in the outcome. That they begin to identify with whatever team that they have no input on. If you don't personally know one of the players on the team, or you're not one of the players or one of the coaches on the team, then you are not that team. You are. I'm Eric Nellis. If I succeed or fail, it's on me. Or I hope that in fact, I know there's some people who pull for me to succeed. But that doesn't really matter. If I don't pull for myself to succeed, it won't even matter how many people care whether I fail or succeed in life, because I am the first one who has to care. If I don't bother to take a shower, if I don't bother to look at myself in the eyes, make sure the whites of my eyes still got some whites to them, then nobody else is. I mean, so that's the thing. And each of us have to be that one to look at ourselves in the mirror and evaluate ourselves. Whether are we doing everything to succeed, or are we just looking for a new excuse? And there's some people, if they're being honest with themselves, they're just looking for a new excuse. They just want to have somebody to blame when they crash and fall. And if that's all
what
that they're
these
looking
communities
for,
do too is they set everybody up to be loser failures because they'll get on me because lately I'm like into this whole idea of different kind of natural scents and kind of combining them with these natural oils. And I've been using them on my hair and skin and they smell good, right? I mean, everyone, likes to kind of smell good and, it keeps you in a certain space. If you got certain oils on you and you smell them along with other people, it kind of alters your state of consciousness. So like I noticed this thing about myself that I've been programmed to lose and fail in certain places because I want to put those oils together and give them to the audience. And they're going to start telling me that I'm grifting and I'm desperate and that I need an extra fucking whatever it is a month. Right. But it's like if I put my time, energy, attention in and I come up with a scent that's different from anything else, and I enjoy it and others enjoy it, right? Gift for gift. Am I desperate? Am I grifting? Or am I sharing my experience and what I'm passionate about and where I find value with others? Right.
Yeah.
And that's all it was about. Like I was telling Jack Talcott yesterday, if motherfuckers are not enjoying you and you're not enjoying them, somebody in the equation has not created enough value in themselves or in their life and gave it away. Because when that happens, people, places, and things show up in abundance.
Yeah. Hey, and not to get too much on football, but earlier today I had a conversation with somebody who also lives in that Detroit area and was talking about he could also try to identify with trying to be excited for the sake of a football team winning a game, but he had enough personal integrity to tell me, and this was just a phone call, me and him, that it doesn't really matter whether that team wins or loses because he's more interested in whether he succeeds or fails. And that's when we start seeing results is when we start recognizing if it's meant to be. It may sound cliche, but if it's meant to be, it's up to me. So
Yeah, and I guess in the area I'm from, I mean, I grew up idolizing football, so for me, it's going to be my own selfish kind of personal journey or whatever. But I grew up idolizing, like Barry Sanders. I liked how humble he was, how great he was, all that sort of stuff. So I grew up kind of idolizing and kind of putting a premium on some of the things I saw out of Barry Sanders, and I was a huge fan of him. I don't know if anybody's seen my courtroom videos, but oftentimes folks, you know draw attention to the Lions shirt that I wear in court, which is always a great look for court. I get it, but no. So the whole thing I was going with the football thing is just in this area, it's more of a mentality, right? It's like, in this area, it would be kind of an emotional lift for the area as far as maybe a mental place so it's not just about the game or about football. It's a little bigger, in the community here. But then again, maybe that's just my selfish take on it because, like I said, I gave you my background.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that when the consciousness becomes pigeonholed to a limited reality, you start to latch on to things externally that you see as valuable or powerful, right? And I mean, again, it's kind of silly because it takes the form of childish games. Again, no offense to Steve Martin. I can't go out on the field and compete with those folks. They'll run me over. But ultimately, we're chasing a ball around a field. It doesn't
Oh yeah,
matter if you're excelling in that and you're a great performer and athlete. Ultimately, it's meaningless and purposeless when it comes to the greater picture of who and what we are and what we're creating. It's nothing more than coliseum distractions in games where they upload the programming subconsciously with the music, with the lights, with the sounds, with the politics. You know, they got you pledging allegiance and oaths and all the rest of it to U.S. corporation in mass events
yeah,
on record.
yeah,
So we need to kind of go to the next level in consciousness. And it's not that Paulie's a buzzkill, a party pooper. It's just that, okay, if you're going to play these games, these worldly games, I would think that there has to be some level of discernment to go along with it. And then I contend the more discernment you get, the less willing you are to play these worldly games or to even watch them or be involved with it. It's kind of one thing if you're going to bet on this shit. But if you have no stake in the outcome and it doesn't affect your life in any way, all they've done is pimped you by identifying where you're born to that team and made you bonded in a sense, right? Internally and externally. So where I'm born does not represent me. Those people who play for the place I was born on don't represent me. I'm not identified with it in any way. And I find little to no value in it, right? The only value you could basically get out of it other than the idea of what it takes to be successful, which everybody in their field who's excellent has to abide by a certain ethic. So we can learn from football players the same thing we could learn from anybody. Um, but yeah, ultimately, I think it's more of an indictment to where the culture and society is at, much like Rome. Everybody clamoring, paying untold amounts of money to be part of Coliseum bread and circus games. Meanwhile, their economy is baseless. The debt is tripled, higher than ever. Okay. The inflation is off the charts over the 20 to 30-year mark. And we're slated for a collapse at any point here that's going to be moved over to another industrial revolution type of event. Some might argue spiritually a kingdom of Shaitan, right? If you want to get into the religiosity of it. But yeah, I mean, to be sitting in these stadiums at this point, painting your face with your stomach hanging out, chugging beer, screaming and yelling at two sides, simulating warfare on the field is just, again, an indictment to me. It's really just an intelligence test. You're basically putting yourself on record with the masters of this world and the universal record that you are a complete fucking moron and that you don't value your time, energy, attention, and resources, and that you're willing to sacrifice it and give it all over for a bunch of clowns in a circus. What else is new? What do you think politics is about? It's all the same sorcery and mockery rituals over and over again. What do you think Ariana Grande is about? And they got everybody. There's everybody in the family. If you take those three criteria, right? And you throw religion in, they definitely got everybody, you know? So when you look at the system's dynamics and what it's really about and you apply it across the board, they got everybody because they got you with the religion, they got you with the politicals, they got you with the entertainment folks, right? And there's not anybody in your family who doesn't vote for some slave master, watch the bullshit Coliseum sports games and venerate them folks while they go down the drain politically and economically and pretend like they're winning in simulation warfare. You know, so like we do here oftentimes, we can go right down the list and show where the mind and heart control is just evident at this point. You know, and they'll say, "Oh man, you're a sob-sick conspiracy theorist," and I go, "Well, we're gonna wait and see on that." Funny thing is that life is a long game. So come back to me, like I've been telling them for a decade, right? I go, come back to me in 3 to 5 years. We'll do this again. We'll report again. You know? I'm willing to be wrong.
Yeah, and that's perfect because I mean, replaying the recording that you had with Artie. You were talking about Artie's court of fiction, and Artie said something interesting about because you were talking about consent to the government or governed as far as the government and how it works. And then something that Artie mentioned, he said, well, it's the consent of the government is consent through the collective. And I was thinking to myself, well, of course, first question I always ask, is that true? And let's just say, for example, that it is, right? Okay, what happens if the consent, or what happens when the collective revokes consent?
What happens when who revokes consent?
What happens if the collective revokes consent?
Well, that's precisely the point. What happens? Then they have to do like they do at court 3/4 of the time with folks who deal with me and come here and listen and then go to court. They say they got to dismiss. So it's equivalent to the big bad wolf, the big bad bully who invites you to fight at the flagpole. And when 3 o'clock comes, he says, you know what? I'm really not into fighting. Let's just dismiss this. And they say, that's not a win. I say, bullshit. If you come from where I come from and the big guy on the block challenges you to a fight and you go all day and show up at 3 o'clock at the flagpole and he ain't there and he bows out, that's a win where I come from.
It is. That is a win.
So I don't need to whoop your ass to win because you didn't show up, bitch ass motherfucker. And that's not, again, an egoic competition. If you thought you had it and you thought you could get it done long game, you'd fucking do it. And the fact that you don't do it means we got the power because we got the word. And in the beginning is the word, and the word is made real. You can't overthrow that. You try to with your double speak. Go ahead.
Exactly. I mean, and it's all, like consciousness is rising. I mean, it's perfect. You know what I mean? Consciousness is rising. That's how I see it. You know what I mean? So it's a battle of ideas. And like you were saying, because I got onto this because you said play the long game. 3, 5, 10 years from now, what are you going to be coming back and saying? How are these videos going to age? And I've always tried to give you credit, Paul, about the traffic stop video. I think that really got a lot of attention 3 years ago. And you watch that video today. You can go back, you can watch that video, and everybody looks honorable in that video.
Yeah, and then they go to judging me about all the shit that I did on the fucking metaverse and forgot all about what the fuck that matters on the ground. Don't tell me about how unpolite and unkind and all this, that, and the third. I've been on the metaverse. I've been real deal on the metaverse. I've shot straight on the metaverse. I pulled no punches on the metaverse. I checked everybody's bullshit ego and comfort for all of our own good on the metaverse because we need to rise in consciousness and to the occasion. Don't tell me about being a loving, caring, patient, empathic or empathetic, purposeful, disciplined man because I've exemplified it over and over again. Okay. And the ignorant and the arrogant cannot validate, nor can they invalidate the truth. So I've already validated it inside, got the verification outside, and it cannot be touched or undone by any of the clowns who've not walked in the way. So save it. Don't give a fuck how many viewers and subscribers you got. Don't give a fuck what y'all think and feel. It's not going to matter when it comes to what is. Okay, so we need to get the game back in its proper perspective. A lot of you folks are content creators. You're commentators. You're not on the walk in the way. You haven't put up, and you should shut the fuck up at this point. Because honestly, I'm done with it. Right? Like I've been saying for 1.5 years now. I don't care if you have. That's why they won't have me anywhere anymore, by the way. Because I do this and I don't care. Right? I'm unrepentant when it comes to that. I care about the truth. I don't give a fuck about your image and your feelings. I don't even give a fuck about my own image and feelings. I'm going to care about yours. The truth is what matters at the end of this. You're going to stand for certain things, you're going to fold. If you don't stand for certain things and you fold, we're all getting a collective judgment, and I'm going to laugh my ass off because all I've been doing for decades is practicing not suffering while in pain, right? So you think I'm going to suffer when the pain comes? No, that's for you to do. I've been on the walk, memento mori, as they say, contemplating almost consistently on my physical mortality and facing my death to go beyond and transmute and transcend. If you're not doing that process, you got some pain coming to you. You got some suffering. And I love it. So does the universe. It's exactly what you need. You want to be ignorant and arrogant most of your life? Great. When the pain and suffering comes, don't fucking cry about it. That's your update, right? That's your transformational time. That's your opportunity. And they still don't get it, many of them. They got to come to me at 34 fucking years old and have me wish them on to the next life because they still don't get the idea of what we're doing here, what this simulation is. They come to me confused after a lifetime of poor choices and ignorant, arrogant, egotistical nonsense that they've spoken and lived into, right? And then the veil starts to collapse, right? Starts to be pulled aside, right? Their ego starts to deflate, right? Starts to disintegrate. And then you start to see the real true self come forward again, and they don't know what to do. They don't know what's next. And I go, well, now it's time to die, stupid motherfucker. What'd you think? What were you doing this whole time? What'd you put your time, energy, attention, and resources on? Fighting, arguing, believing in bullshit, trying to stack chips and hoping you can die with them when most of you folks are so toxified on purpose, willfully yourself or from the enemy, in quotes, that whatever the fuck you stacked up, they're going to take from you, medical bills, stupid motherfuckers, because it doesn't work that way. You can't get a way out. The way out is the way in. You're going to have to go get back to a certain lifestyle. You're going to have to grow your own food. You're going to have to drink clean water and breathe clean air. And it's going to take fucking work and sacrifice. Yeah. And if not, you're going to suffer and you're going to die and they're going to take everything from you. And I'm going to laugh my balls off because you thought you were smarter than not only Paulie Boy, but the God of creation, you Luciferian trash. It's laughable if it wasn't so tragic. Yeah. Go ahead, Joshua. I saw that you unmuted there.
Well, I just unmuted because I definitely felt something with that. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. You think that you can outsmart, like back in my atheist phase, I thought I could just, I believed in the science, right? Like I believed in the science. And
we
I was
all
like,
have the same walk. We all have the same walk.
Yeah. So for me, it was, you know, in that atheist phase, it's like, you know, you could outsmart God, which is just ridiculously stupid, you know? I mean, just absolutely
it's something you can't
stupid.
explain, and it's in you and working before and after and during. And once you start to put the pieces in reverse engineer, you realize how stupid was I to think that I'm going to game myself, my subconscious, and whatever this thing is connected to.
That's how I felt.
Once you start to see the alignment and the synchronicity come about in the positive aspect, and then you look back and go, oh, wow, all the negative dark shit was for me to be here and for where I'm going. Only a fool. And that's exactly what we all are at some point, right? We're clever fools, right? We think we got it figured out. We think we got a system of beliefs that work for us because it's just been here as long as we've been incarnated here. And we don't know our history. And we don't learn from history. And that's why we fucking repeat it. Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, because the first person that we want to lie to is we want to lie to ourselves. I want to lie to myself and say, I don't have to do any more research. I don't got to study anymore. I've got my 4-year degree. I'm good. That's the end of my education. I got my fancy piece of paper. It said that I've achieved it. I don't have to learn anything else because my piece of paper proves I'm smarter than these stupid panels.
Yeah. They got Dunning-Kruger effect. Where's your degree? Oh, they think they're smart. You know, and again, there's an inward innate intelligence that can be reunited with that seems to know all or know just a little bit more than the institutionalized folks who've been book learning their whole life and can't even apply the damn information, you know, or can't even make sense of the information. Majority of these folks, economists, you know, psychologists, counselors, it's laughable. I I have a broad range of folks who I've interacted with, you know. I'm not going to get too specific, but with Jennifer, we speak about someone in her life who's a counselor. And it's so ironic because she's one of the most dysfunctional people, and we regularly laugh about it, you know. But she has a degree and she has a profession and she's a counselor. And you go, what are you counseling exactly when you can't manage your own affairs in your own life? You know, so if you can't apply it to yourself and understand it and get results within yourself and in your own life, chances are you really don't have the understanding you think you do. They just told you did to get your ego in place to help you play a position to fuck everyone else up, including yourself. And that's what the game is about. You know, they ordain all the clever fools to go into a system and continue to fuck it up and think they're doing something because they're getting paid. And the whole culture and society takes another couple shifts in IQ points and spiritual development.
Yeah. Yeah. Wolves in sheep's clothing. That's there's so many of them, you know. And I sometimes wonder, you know, I'll use this term wolves in sheep's clothing. I got to be careful because I will say this. There are some people who I don't think are wolves in sheep's clothing, but they're struggling themselves because they have a wife, they have kids, and they're I believe some of them I think are interested in getting to become who they're supposed to be, even though they've already got a title. But if they have a wife and they got kids and maybe they got grandkids and they got neighbors, they're worried. Some of them are worried, okay, their reputation will be sullied because they're talking directly to Paul. And somebody might even be worried if their reputation might be soiled if they talk directly to Eric. So either way, that I think there are some people that are in that category. They're interested, they're curious, but they're worried. My reputation is going to be damaged. I can't be seen talking to people like that. I can't be seen.
And they already proved themselves. This is the point. I've had them pull that game with me, and then I have to break the news to them. You just indicted yourself. What do you mean? You just said you don't have the freedom to associate with who your spirit calls you to associate with because you're worried your worldly cultural, root word cult, society is not going to accept you with them and back in. So you've already made your bed, and now you got to lie in it. Your spirit is called to a whole bunch of people, places, things, opportunities, understandings that you can't embody or experience with because your cult is not going to keep you. Isn't that a shame? We're still in high school, huh? I didn't do this bullshit in high school. I dealt with everybody. Computer geeks, dweebs, nerds, jocks, whoever, right? Gangsters, druggies. I dealt with everybody for different reasons.
Hey, you mentioned high school. Can I share one high school experience? And I think I can finally share it and say it the right way because I've shared this experience and sometimes I even edit myself and I move myself from the authentic to more like a PG version. But I want to share it the right way. 10th grade I can say where I used to live, Duncanville, Texas, 10th grade. I had a 10th grade computer science teacher. I honestly do not remember the teacher's name. First day of class, he's a 10th grade computer science teacher. He writes the word assume real big on the board. And he was speaking truth and he was giving a lesson. I have no idea if the other students were listening to the teacher. I was listening. He wrote up on the board, assume. And you know where this is going if you ever had somebody do this before. And he gets out the marker and he circles. Whenever you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. And I think that's a lot of people, what they're doing is they're assuming. And they don't realize that that's what they're doing when they're assuming. They're making an ass out of themselves. And they got to, come out of their shell a little bit. I'm trying to come out of my shell a little bit. And that's the other thing. Come out of your shell. Because be who you're supposed to be. Stop worrying about who gets offended. Everybody's going to get offended, but don't worry about it.
Dude, I had a computer science tech teacher who was missing a finger on New York who would regularly just flip out on people, just throw people out, throw shit, kick shit. Like the shit that used to go on, it's just out of control, right? He used to throw me out like every other day. It became a ritual. He'd call me, he'd do the last name thing too, call me by my last name, get out, throw something, he'd come up, get in your face, throw some shit, bang on the table. You know, the guy was insane. Oh man, Mr. Kelly. I wish I oh man. I wish I could get that footage somehow. I mean, I wish I could get the footage of many of me just being in class. I used to get thrown out of class just so often. It was insane.
No.
Yeah.
No.
For basically doing a broadcast in the class.
I can't.
And
I
they
can't
told
imagine
me
you
that it
getting
was
kicked out
going
of a
nowhere.
class.
Well, in that space and that time, they're correct. It was going nowhere. But
I
that
just
meant
want
we
to
were in
shout
another
out.
time and space.
I just want to shout out to Mrs. Vo J, who I used to make. You could imagine the, name changes that would go on there. But yeah, shout out to her because I'm pretty sure I did better than her last year. And she told me one day, "You're not funny, and this is not going anywhere. You were wrong." I just want to say it took 20 years of Xanax, PCP, heroin addiction, and a few other things in between. Some jail time. But you were wrong, lady. Okay? And you were stifling my creativity. And you should feel upset with that. Okay? It wasn't an inclusive environment. They didn't appreciate me and my sense of humor.
Well, and speaking of inclusive, if I could just go back to what Eric was talking about making an ass out of you and me with assuming, it's even deeper than that. There's many layers to this too, because it's not only folks that are assuming things about somebody else, but then when the truth presents itself, if it's an uncomfortable truth, you'll have people reject that information. You'll have folks reject that information. And so then you get into like the gaslighting phase, and then you get into the manipulation phase. And I mean, like when it comes to me and my journey, like I've tried to use this as an inner reflection on myself, because and it's taken a couple phases to do that. So I'm probably not going to articulate it properly, but I'm going to try to keep it real clear and concise. Is that the wave of YouTubers when they come in, it's like everybody kind of mixes it up, kind of sees who they want to co-create with, and then it moves on. Then you got a new generation of YouTubers that come in, do the same thing. Well, it took a new generation of YouTubers coming in for me to realize, like, shit, did I sound like that when I first started? Like, oh my God, that sounds so narcissistic. That sounds so horrible when he's doing it. Did it sound the same when I was doing it? And then I go back and listen, and I can pick out the times when I was getting a little narcissistic on myself, or when I was doing things the same way as I see it. So I guess for me, it's, it's easier when you can observe somebody else. What else, Snafu?
Did you just say gas?
Gaslight.
Oh, gas. I thought you said gas, like huffing gas. By the way, Illuminati drug use confirmed. Waving around his cocaine last night. When your channel gets struck, it's on the Snafu crew, Tommy.
Whoa. You're saying Illuma slavery was waving around powdered substance last night?
Yep. If you want to go, and he bragged about it. If you want to go to his newest video at 3 hours, 259, 258. White cocaine on his channel, waving around. Said he found it under railroad tracks, but we know he found it under his nose hairs.
Yeah, right. He found it in his back pocket.
How did it smell? How did it smell?
They all really do think that everybody's stupid, huh? They think that we, first of all, don't know you're on drugs when you show up just because you say you haven't been in a while. Like, we can tell what someone looks like when they use drugs semi-regularly, Like,
it was interesting.
Go ahead, sir. I know you're chomping at the bit because he finally outed himself, as if he didn't out himself just by showing up the way he looks with gray skin. And bizarre pupil, wide eyes.
What's funny is the people on the panel. I don't see DJM here on your panel, but she'll go over on the panel.
Let's not do this. I don't want to do the whole who's over there and who's not here. Like, you don't get it. I want them there. If they're called to be with him, I want them there and not here, because they're going to do what you're doing. You see?
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I just want to say, Tommy,
if they're twisted, if they're drama-filled, if they're addled from their addiction, let them stay with Slow State and Illuma slavery. Yeah. I gave birth to them for a reason, to offload my trash. Yeah. Don't pull them back over here.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is, Tommy, you could blame me and the crew and anyone who thinks drugs are bad. Okay. 2 minutes, 58 seconds.
Okay.
2 minutes, 58 seconds.
He did
on his newest live. Waving his cocaine around. It was a shitty bag. It looked like shitty cocaine too. Like it wasn't like rock, like fucking cartel cocaine.
Yeah, well, what else is new? He's in Denver. Of course, he's getting shitty cocaine. You know, look at him. Who's he gonna deal with?
It's been stomped on 3 times.
Yeah, I might have to make a few calls just to cut in on that profit. You know, I'm gonna have to get somebody over there. Not that I know anybody, right, for entertainment purposes, but I'm sure if I reached out to old folks.
But I just want to say,
someone.
Last thing, I just want to say, Tommy, when you lied on Paul Unslaved, the crew and the researchers are out there, and we saw you waving around. So don't lie and say I'm off drugs, because we saw them. You waved them around. And you bragged about it.
Yeah, so okay, so let's go. I'm taking what you're saying, which is the first foolish action, well, second one, along with letting you in here. But presuming what you're saying is true, he found cocaine under a railroad track and went and got it and picked it up and brought it home.
Right. Why don't we watch it so you know it's true? Allegedly.
So, like, if I show up with a bundle of heroin here one day and go, I swear I didn't buy this. I found this on a train. They're going to go, and why'd you bring it home? I mean, the only thing that comes next is doing it, no?
He went into the whole story how the guys thought maybe he stole it from him or didn't. It's still up, and allegedly, but it's not allegedly because he waved around.
Subconscious has been eating away at him because folks have been calling him an addict since day one. Whether he talked about his addiction or not, he looks like he's presently using. So whether that's from the brain damage of what he's already done, or because he is presently using. So if what you're saying is true, he just convicted himself, as we all knew, not to be working for this God he talks about.
Hey, do you see what
pretending? Sir, please, if you're going to talk, let me finish what I'm saying. You just cut me off in the middle of me recapping.
Well, you keep saying allegedly, Paul. It's out there right now.
No, you're not going to change. You're not going to change my verbiage to become like you. You're going to become like me, or we're going to stop speaking.
But this situation, it's not allegedly.
It doesn't matter, because you just told it to me secondhand, which means if I said it like it was fact, it means I'm trusting you, and I don't.
Right.
So allegedly, because
let's
it's
watch
secondhand.
It so we can get over this allegedly
we're not
issue.
Watching it. I'm not putting up videos of that cretin holding up his powdered substance. I don't need to. I already know he's a drug-addled freak. If you all want to go watch it and find out for yourself, go watch it.
2 hours, 58 seconds, 0-0.
That surprises me. The guy comes online pointing guns every other day, bouncing off the walls, cooking applesauce on a hot plate on a Home Depot.
Allegedly.
Bucket. You don't think I know a crackhead when I see one?
Allegedly, sir. I got you, brother. Allegedly.
Yeah, I've been in life and the game long enough to know a fucking custy and a crackhead when I see one. I mean,
the optics
on
are
some
high.
level, I was one, and first of all, I never did any of that. I was the most down and out heroin addict at one point. I've never done any of this stuff. May have urinated in bottles. every heroin addict does that. Ask Lou. At some point, you just stop caring, and if you got bottles around, you urinate in them because you don't even want to get up to go to the bathroom. Okay, that's the level of brokenness and depression that you find yourself in. But I never once cooked applesauce on a Home Depot bucket hot plate with a curtain over my window. I at least had curtains. I at least had official curtains and blinds when I was urinating in bottles like a truck driver without a truck. Go ahead, Lewis.
You just reminded me of one of my most memorable Christmas days when I was a junkie. It was near the end of my service to heroin. And it was New Year's Day, and I was sick like a dog. I had nothing. And there was nobody around, and I had money. I couldn't find anybody. And I went into the laneway. Back then, there was the Iranians. They were everywhere. And they were bringing in all this stuff from Iran to fund the war back then, I guess. And I said, God, please help me find one of their stashes.
You're praying to God for drugs now.
I was praying, God, please help me. I was so sick. So I go into the laneway, and I swear to God, the first place I look it was a big beam, like across and pile of junk. And there was this beam, this steel beam. And I looked at it and I said, fuck, that looks like a good spot. And it took everything to move that thing. And I moved it, and bingo, a big bag just full of packages. I don't even remember.
Wait a second. So you're saying indirectly that you can pray to Jesus and get heroin? I've never.
I did that thing.
No, you're so ballsy. Like I'm only half Italian. You're full Italian. I never once thought to invoke God into my heroin addiction. You know, I just never did. I've been really bad off and just go, well, I did this and it's bad. I'm just gonna accept it. You're praying to God for heroin and it shows up.
When you're sick, you know, you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah, that brings a whole new twist to this idea of maybe what Jesus or God is really all about. I mean, it may not be this inherently benevolent thing. Like, you just may get whatever you desire or what you wish for or what you manifest.
Well, I mean, part of the spirit is getting what you wish for, isn't it?
It seems so. It seems that God is less this personified deity that sits in the sky bartering with you versus a program that's running that you're connected to that based on what you're in alignment with, you will generate a result.
Yeah, good or bad, I would suspect.
Well, good or bad is the interpretation of the being having the experience. The universe doesn't know good and bad. It knows cause and effect.
Yeah, I'll never forget it, though. It was like, I just, the first place I looked. And it's like, you know, I was so sick. I'm puking and I'm everything. And I could barely get that beam rolled over. And once I did, and I saw that bag there, oh my Lord. It was
you get a fucking headset that works somewhat functionally?
Let me do the echo
No,
cancellation.
I already did it. Keep your fucking hands on the wheel, all right? I don't need you running into some family out there, some minivan.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked for now, but it's gonna fucking keep.
Yeah, it keeps bouncing back and forth. I don't get it.
Me. I'm driving a. It looks like I'm not driving, but I'm actually driving a huge house. Sorry, I apologize. I was just lying. I apologize. I was lying. I'm sorry. I was lying.
I don't know what he's saying. Does he have a problem? Somebody need to help this guy out.
I think Eric said he was driving a house. I think that's what it boiled down to. And then Papa Luigi is trying to fix the popping sound in a microphone, which most folks don't know this, but you don't even really need a microphone. Like right now, I'm not using a headset nor a microphone. That was like mistake number one for me on YouTube. I see Paul.
Yeah, but he's the Italian douche that has to have a fucking Bluetooth headset to act like he's important. You know, he's.
Bro, I can't hear. I tried doing it without the freaking things in my ears, but I can't hear and talk at the same time. It's like if I take these out, you guys could hear me.
Did you ever think of not fucking talking when other people were speaking? And then you wouldn't have to hear and speak at the same time. Doesn't that make sense?
Well, I can't hear anything when I'm on. Like, I'm half deaf as it is. Like,
did you ever think of not showing up in a fucking car, a truck?
It's the only place I have
going and banging.
Decent internet.
The only place he has decent internet is in a fucking truck riding around. And you see why I say he's retarded?
Well, that makes sense, I guess.
Most people avoid broadcasting from the truck because it's the worst case scenario. That's his most preferable solution to broadcast.
That shows you the level right there. Most folks avoid that, but that's the priority. That's where.
Yeah, he's the type of guy to sell his fucking car for gas money. He's a complete. He's a stunad, as they say.
Well, and then he was talking about heroin addiction, I believe. And one thing, because I've been slaving it up the last few days, I've been doing some work around the place I'm staying, and I found a bunch of Narcan when folks like check out, you know, because I'm staying at a place that rents cabins, and there's a bunch of Narcan that's in there. And what I find amazing about it is we got a heroin problem. What's the solution? Oh, Narcan. And it's like, well, isn't the solution getting off the drugs? Like that's the solution, right? But government is like, hey, we'll fix this problem by introducing another drug so you can keep doing the shit and then you can rescue yourself from dying.
You don't seem to get it. How do you think all these drugs happen to be here? You think it's the mob that's running all this thing? The mob is just doing their part. The real dealers are the government. They're the ones bringing it in.
Oh, yeah.
That's conspiracy talk. We can't have conspiracy talk. No, the government, Pledge Allegiance, Star Spangled Banner, Abraham Lincoln was
not the government. Everybody knows it's the blacks, okay? Let's just leave it right there. I'll take the hit on that one. We're not, this is not a South Sit community, okay? It's not a community conspiracy theorists. None of that. Racist at best. That's all you're going to get today.
I feel inspired. I think I'm supposed to stand up and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Which hand do I put it? Like, wait, this heart, this heart. I pledge of allegiance. Or wait a minute. Do I got to do it this way, or do I? You guys have seen that in the 1940s they used to, when they told the kids to do Pledge of Allegiance, instead of, they had the kids all stand with their arm pointing up at the flag like that. But then they were like, wait a minute, Hitler's having his folks do the same thing. Oh, wait a minute, we ain't gonna do this. Oh, we're putting our hand on our heart.
Eric Nellis is coming out of his shell, and I'm starting to wish he'd go back in.
Let me climb. Let me climb back in. I'm sorry.
Hey, focus on the road. Focus on the road, Eric. Focus on the road. Don't kill anybody.
2 hands on the wheel, 10 and 2.
There is nothing but the road. Focus on the road. There is nothing but the road.
Hold on. Where is the road? It's back there. Oh, you can't see it. It's behind us a little bit right now. Jimmy Shively says, for holy days, appreciate all you do, sir. Thank you, Jimmy Shively, for your gift and contribution during the 100 holy days of Unslavia. We're at our Christ Killer celebration climax, of course, the Christ Mass Day. So it feels good. Feels good around here. Be part of whatever it is we got going on. Some folks might say, right, Eric Paiva doing a Clausen. All right, let's move forward, people. Let's get to the docket. Enough jibber jabber. We got Brim Hustle. If you want to get rich, understand the cycles of the sheep. So let's hear that. Are you ready for that, Mr. Nellis?
I'm ready. All
right.
If you want to get rich, do exactly the opposite of what the masses do. The masses are sheep. When everybody buys, they buy. When everybody panics, they panic. When everybody sells, they sell. To get wealthy, you have to understand 2 cycles. 1, feeding the sheep. And 2, slaughtering the sheep. The feeding of the sheep happened from 2008 to 2022. Low interest rates encourage the sheep to take loans and buy houses. But none of these houses are paid off. So the banks recently started the cycle of slaughtering the sheep. They quickly raised interest rates. Many people can't pay the mortgage, and whoppa, the houses are gone. Look at Europe. Inflation is high because of all the cheap money from 2008 to 2022. And interest rates also high. But wages are still low, suki. The recession is made to slaughter the sheep, take their wool, take their houses, take their lives. Through easing and contracting the flow of money, the Federal Reserve banks go from feeding to slaughtering. And as long as the sheep follow, they are doomed. Do not be a sheep. Never think, act, or invest like the masses. Do the opposite, and you will be rich. Buy when the masses are selling. Sell when the masses are buying. The masses are weak, lazy, and worst of all, they trust their authorities, their governments, and their banks. Do not trust the authorities. honor will come.
You know, they told you in The Economist, 1980s, buy gold, buy silver, buy land. You'd be multimillionaire many times over. So even the devil does good sometimes. It'll tell you exactly what's going to go on and how to work around it. So yeah, I mean, now you have your crypto venue where, you know, like any other market, if you get in low and it goes up, you sell high, and you reapportion that value somewhere else. So yeah, the psychology of markets, fascinating thing that we've gone over here at time. Let me thank Sherry Connolly for the love of the game. Thank you, Sherry Connolly. Auntie Sherry, as she'll be known as now. Charlie Chapchin, how are you, sir? Hello?
I am well. I am well. How about yourself?
I'm blessed, sir. Jimmy Shively, Sherry Connolly, and others, Leslie, many others are supporting rather regularly, contributing. We're feeling good here.
Yeah, I see Grim also was giving a little bit of support there of that message of not being a sheep. I like that little grin he had on there on his face when he said, "Don't trust the authorities."
Yeah, I mean, it really just comes down to trust in yourself and your discernment. I don't have to distrust others to trust my discernment and my understanding of self more than I trust theirs, right? So, um, yeah, listen, I'll trust authorities if they're supposed authorities, if they give me a reason, you know. I mean, we're all men and women first and foremost, so I'm open to work in trust and equity with anybody. But I'm not going to trust necessarily implicitly their discernment and their understanding of myself over my own. That would just be an indictment of me. That would be a revelation that I lacked a moral compass or self worth or self value or self esteem or self respect. So, your thoughts, Lewis, Joshua, Eric, others, before we move into the breaking slave news segment? Fan favorite?
I'm in favor of.
Once, twice. What now?
I'm in favor of that breaking slave news. I need to know what I need to know.
Right. You're on a need to know basis. All right. Well,
Well,
Israeli. Go ahead.
Oh, if I can just add to that too, because that's where I think a lot of the audience is going to come from, is folks that did put their trust in authorities at one point. They did trust the government. They did trust the process, and then that's where that sense of betrayal comes from. It's like the first time, there's a saying in like the cop watching, realm, back to blue until it happens to you, and I think it's easier to tell somebody, but most folks aren't going to really get the message until it actually happens to them. And that's self-criticism for me, because that's what happened with me.
They can't have their world shatter. They can't have their world. They've been voting for them politicians. They vote for the Republicans, and then when the Republicans are bad, they switch and they vote for the Democrats, and then they switch back and vote for the Republicans, and then the Democrats, and then the Republicans.
Well, the cloak is
Yeah,
coming
you have
off.
to wonder though, how many people are actually doing this? I mean, because they give the impression everybody's involved, but there might just be at least half of the country who doesn't even partake in any of this and doesn't believe in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Your thoughts?
I suspect it's more than half that's not participating in the current times.
Yeah, I mean, they can't even get more than 50 people apparently to show up to a Joe Biden speech. So what does that tell you? You know, again, they're masters of illusion and impression, like the Wizard of Oz, right? They're masters of using the smoke and mirrors and screens and technology to give us the impression that they're omnipresent, omnipotent, so on and so forth. But it seems to be far from the case, right? It would seem to me that these folks are actually a bit worried. Dare I say that? You know, if they weren't, they wouldn't be shadow banning and striking people like me, little old me, in my little corner of YouTube. Apparently, if not me, a truth that I hold is so powerful, it has to be shut up, silenced, stricken, banned from an algorithm. And that's a usual cliche story at this point. You know, this is nothing new. So I suspect that their whole game is to make us believe they are more powerful than they are, and therefore that we are less powerful than we are, individually and together. Once we come to understand that the word, the truth, is the most powerful or valuable thing that we have here, there's nothing else to do except live it and speak it. And then it would seem to me the game changes, if not completely for a time, you know.
Well, that comes back to what I had brought up earlier about what Artie said about the consent of the government or consent of the governed coming from the collective. What happens when the collective revokes that consent? Or what happens when the collective goes, hey, maybe that is right, maybe that's what's going on, I'm opting out? Or let's say there's a battle of ideas and you've got, nefarious purposes on one side of the coin. Well, if you see those nefarious purposes and you're going to have, for example, like money driven to those to that side, like the wealth transfer that just happened recently. Well, you're also going to see folks that see it for what it is and want to combat that. So you're going to see both sides play out, which is, I think, what I hear you bring up often all the time, Paul. Is that's where you find the middle ground. That's where that's where the battleground is. It's a battle of ideas right now, and consciousness is rising.
Yeah, I think that many of us theorists who they'll say are paranoid, who've studied history and or just looked at what these folks have said, have all intuitively or consciously seen or felt that these folks are going to do world war, trade war, currency war, civil war, and economic collapse, among other things, in order to jostle the world and the public um, into a new perspective and life and lifestyle, and to get them to ignore what they've experienced thus far, or to not seek any more truth, or more importantly, to do anything different. Because you could know all day, you could seek truth all day. It's really about what you understand and then put into action. That's what they're worried about. They're not worried necessarily about Paulie Boy talking on YouTube. They're worried about him and other people already on the ground doing something different and provide an example to others.
Yeah.
How to get out of their sheep shearing pen, right? That's bad for their business and their bottom line, if nothing else. This is a numbers game.
Yeah.
That's why you're going to see more people look in that eye, like they're turning to like, whoa, they want to know what's going on, but they don't want to be associated. If they, some of them don't want to be associated because they're worried. They might.
Well, there's been a few hundred, if not a few thousand people nationwide who've taken their tags off and don't want to be under the guise of regulated travel anymore. And, a part of that is going to be put on me because of that original video. This thing is not stupid. It tracks the data and the consensus, right? And where everything leads back to, the chain of title. So they go, if this guy's seen here doing this and the cop responds this way, even if it doesn't go that way every time, it's enough of a inspiration to make hundreds, if not thousands of people all at once to say, we're going to try this. We're going to move into it. Now, if they start getting dismissals, they're really going to have a problem, because now they're going to go tell someone who's going to go tell someone who's going to watch the video, and it's all going to keep looping and cycling back in that.
And I had one of those dismissals. Yeah, I had one of those dismissals. And
everyone I've dealt with has at least one point. And this is how then I gain credibility and reputation, not about me as an ego, for the information. So the information gains footing and tracking. And now they got a bigger problem, because they go, he was just
and that's
a conspiracy theorist trailer gorilla until he started talking and other people started verifying. Now we have a verified concept to move on. Now the fear is mitigated, and that's the only tool they really have. Fear.
Yeah.
Yep, and then that explains that explains the titles on some videos. Two soft sits join forces. Like, what are you talking about? Like, just because you're getting dismissals and you're tired of being regulated, there's folks that look at me that think that I had a bunch of DUIs or I had a shitty track record on my driving record when I just decided not to renew my license.
But this is why I tell you also, stay the fuck off Facebook. Again, while I'm telling you that, you see that I do kind of quirky thumbnails and I do humor and whatever else. I'm saying keep your drama out of the public. Keep the nonsense as much as possible out of the public. Don't make it easy for them to write it up that we're just some fucking bozo clowns who can't manage our own affairs and we're crazy people and druggies and we're just out here trying to cause trouble. Not that it matters, because the truth is always going to come to light.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I mean, and for a while I've figured, like if I have to play the fool to, draw attention to it, that's fine, and for, I mean, I realize I can come across that way oftentimes, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's about just learning that you got to manage your own affairs. You got to be responsible for your own affairs. You got to manage your own affairs. You can't ask somebody to do it for you.
It's like the voting thing, Paul. I think there's a lot more people nowadays getting it and doing and moving into that place of discomfort and doing what they need to do to stand for their rights, and they don't like it and they're afraid of it. There's a new video out actually of a guy, black guy with jerry curls and all of that thing and whatever dreads and stuff, and he's a national or something like that, state national or something. They break his window and pull him out of his car, and they're really pushing that video. They seem to push.
You can't stop an idea whose time has come, as it's been said, right?
So they push the fear.
We already see what it is. If you comply, you're fucked anyway. So there's no point in complying anymore, and there's no point in being belligerent or combative. It's a purely peaceful, neutral, respectful place of oneself and their moral compass. This is what I am. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. You don't have to like it to recognize it. If you don't want to recognize it, well, then you got to live with the karma of what you're going to do here today, right? There's nothing else to talk about because there is no way out of this. We've already verified that. It's just going to be about how long, right? You comply, you do what the experts and the heroes and the rest of them say, then you know what comes with that. Lots of safety. Lots of safety. So safe, you may not be able to leave the house.
It's a beautiful thing, too, because the more, it's like the willow tree, right? The more you cut it, the more you trim it, the more you take from it, the stronger it gets. And the more they push this idea, because all they show is the bad outcomes, like this guy that they smashed their window, like the kid that they blew his brains out. They don't show all the outcomes that, that are more favorable.
Right, they'll push
obviously.
the scariest shit up front to keep you in fear and doubting what I'm saying and what others are doing because they don't want you to step out into faith. And hey, for every 1,000 who get dismissal, one person may have to sit for 90 days. You know what the irony is? I'm usually that guy, it seems. Where I've had a dozen people tell me they've gotten better results with little to no experience or understanding, just applying what I've talked about than even I have. Because I'm what is it? 1 for 3 at this point. They took the car, put me in a box. It was only a few days, but I get the vibe that you never really know whose number is going to be up, whether it comes with death or whether it comes for standing for rights. So I don't go anywhere and go, hey, I'm a face of a movement, and then not actually feel like because I'm a face of it on some level to them, not to me, that I may have to put up more than everybody else. It just feels that way. That's leading from the front, So yeah, man. I mean, they're always gonna upload, front load the idea of this is crazy, this is scary. Look what happens to you when you do it, and they're gonna keep thousands of people out of the courts, dismissing them, never reporting on it, never letting you bring a camera in because they don't want you to get their fraud on record. They don't want you to get your confusion and cowardice on record, and they don't want you to get them basically denying to move forward or submitting because the idea is you can't fight City Hall.
And the evidence is clear if you look at it more, more closely. Like the video, for example, your video that went viral. When it goes viral, it's the people that are making that happen. It's the people pushing that. So
Hold on, Lewis. This person just asked a question here. If you could be killed for appearing to exercise a right, is it a right? Well, just because somebody did wrong doesn't change what your right was. No? Or am I off on something there? So I have a right to do many things. If somebody kills me while I'm in the action of a right, does that change the fact that it was a right, or did they just do something wrong to me while I was acting rightfully? Go ahead, Lewis.
Whoever said that's just an idiot. Like, I mean, that's blatant. You can't say it any more different than that. That's just idiotic to think that. I mean, we have natural human rights, right?
Yeah,
And
if a woman wears a short dress walking down the street and she gets raped, does
right,
she have no more right to wear it? Or did the being just do a wrong action to her?
And that's the, like I was saying, that's the beauty in it, because they can't hide it. Because when a video like yours showing a favorable result goes viral, it's the people pushing that. They can't even stop it if they tried, because there's too many people. It's evidence that there's too many people behind that idea. So the only ones that they're pushing out are the ones where they're smashing their windows or they're blowing the guy's head off or whatever. And those they're pushing, and they don't get as much traction as stuff like your video, for example, right? Or others. They don't get the traction, and they just seem to be pushing them, right? Just to keep people afraid. But to this person, I'd say, what more fundamental right in this earth, let alone America, what more fundamental right is there than to be able to take what I own from point A to point B, whatever the fuck it is?
Well, there used to be an old saying, Lou. When dog bites man, there's no news. When man bites dog, that's news. So the reason why it gets more traction is because we've already seen 1,000 times somebody been shot in the street for doing little to nothing. What you haven't seen over and over again, or even more than maybe a handful of times, is somebody standing on a right, not having anything they told you you're supposed to have, having a favorable conversation and leaving, and having a godly energy behind it. So, that's why that gets traction, because it's exactly what the fuck we need right now.
Yeah.
We need some shovels.
Shovels to bury?
Absolutely.
A right is an action that doesn't cause harm to other sentient beings. Right. All right, let's move forward. We got more slave news. Israeli American murdered by Hamas. Oh, we got to get an uproar over this. This is
hold on, Paul. Before you go, I just want to say happy birthday, Jeebus, to everybody. And
damn it, Lou, you fucking anti-Semite! I was right in the middle of saying.
I don't care. I gotta go. I just wanted to say,
get the fuck out with that crackling fucking mic too, crackling Rosie over here.
Yeah, and before you get
out.
Before you get to that bit, Paul, the Sovereign Dirt, I appreciate Sovereign Dirt coming over and giving the question. They show up regular. Sovereign Dirt shows up regularly in my chat. So
I love you, Lewis. I don't know why that just happened, brother. He's in the back laughing. Fucking idiot. Go back the car up. He's got his head over his shoulder now. He's backing into shit. Go get back to your life, Lewis, please. You know we love you, but it's always something with you.
And I might dip down just to conserve battery life, so I'll dip backstage, but I'm still restreaming. So,
all right, I'm gonna throw you back there. Conserve. He's in conservation mode. All right, let's move forward. And I was incorrect. First, we got to get to Israeli airstrike on refugee camp in Gaza. Kills dozens.
We're going to begin in Gaza, where Christmas Eve brought one of the deadliest airstrikes yet for civilians.
Disgusting. These people are disgusting.
It's estimated more than 20,000 people are dead, and the conflict could be expanding. Also overnight, Israel says it hit targets in Lebanon.
By the way, why does Gaza somehow look more appealing than the majority of suburbs and cities? Like something about that mountain and even the plants and even that kind of simplistic architecture to seem more appealing. I might want a vacation in Gaza.
MTS tie-up reports from Bethlehem where celebrations have been canceled this year. A warning, the images are disturbing.
This Christmas, Gazans waking up in hospital after one of Israel's deadliest attacks. Dozens of Israeli airstrikes targeted the Maghazi refugee camp, killing at least 78, including women and children, with the Hamas-run Ministry of Health warning the death toll
for democracy, for
rise.
safety.
In a statement, Hamas called the airstrike a horrific massacre and a new war crime. The Israeli military said it was reviewing the incident after announcing 10 of its soldiers had been killed in the past day and 5 killed the previous day. While in Bethlehem, in the Israeli-occupied West Bank, Christmas celebrations were canceled. Instead of twinkling lights or a tree full of ornaments, a stark nativity scene in the heart of Manger Square, of baby Jesus born amid rubble and barbed wire, a symbol of solidarity,
symbol of democracy.
Steps away at the evangelical Lutheran
I might
Christmas
have to get that statue for next Christmas. Jesus being born amongst rubble and barbed wire, a symbol of pure democracy and the successes.
He met Pastor Munther Isaac, the man behind this nativity scene.
People will be singing about Bethlehem. People will be reading about Bethlehem. And as I said, I hope they remember Bethlehem is a real place in Palestine today that is calling and crying out for justice.
What is your wish this Christmas?
We have a one-item wish list: end the genocide in Gaza. We want this war to end. That's the only thing we want.
For CBS Mornings, Imtiaz Tayyab.
We want the robot vacuum we've seen on QVC. One item. Is it possible that Jesus was Palestinian? And that's why this whole thing is kind of appropriate, because they're now physically killing the homeland or symbolism of the Christed being while they metaphysically kill that energetically and conceptually in society with their statute policy code and legal process. It would be a good mockery sorcery ritual while also claiming to be God's chosen people, right? It'd be great. I like that. I like that idea.
Yeah, but what about all the prophecies in the Bible? Wasn't this all prophesied? Isn't this just the book of Revelation playing out?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could argue that there is no time and space the way we understand it, and that that story that was put there is the same loop that goes on over and over again from the beginning of time. So, yeah, beast system, check. Revelation, apocalypse, revealing of the truth, check. Mark to buy and sell, check. And then, some type of kingdom of Shaitan that I guess will reign for a time before being restored to the meek who shall inherit the earth, as I understand it. Possibly a little bit of slavery and genocide and suffering along the way, but suffering is relative. It's subjective. How are you, Nubs Creature?
I'm doing swell. How about you guys?
I'm blessed, sir. I can't deny that. Is there anything you'd like to add on?
I'm enjoying my 52-degree weather here in Minnesota this day.
Okay.
It's been nice.
I mean, 52 is actually, I was going to say, that's pretty good for over there, no?
Normally it's like 52 below at this point in time.
Yeah, well, I guess someone would have to ask themselves why the hell they would live in a place like that to begin with. The same thing I say about Canada, really.
Shortly, sir. Shortly. I've got a couple more years till my son is of an age of majority and can handle his own affairs. And then I might end up being your neighbor.
So you're tied to some beta female is what I heard in there indirectly.
Pretty much.
See, I'm a master at decoding.
Beta cock.
Well, it's not his fault. I mean, the courts run his life and the women run the court. So he's stuck in Minnesota.
Actually, I can honestly say that that part is by choice. If I really wanted to leave, I have no tie to the courts. We agreed quite amicably, and I agreed to 50-50, and well, you got to be good on your word.
Okay, so she didn't even need the court. She had you fucking cucked out already.
At 50%,
you're stuck here with
sure.
me. Yeah, you're stuck here with me. You're giving me half your shit.
Pretty
you're
much.
not leaving.
But she also
she
gives me 50% of her shit at a 50-50 split.
Wait a second.
So,
Wait a second. She's doing like hardcore, like prison pimping. Because you probably do better than her, right? Because how does that make any sense? Why wouldn't I just keep 100% of what I make and you do the same unless somebody's making more?
No, there isn't support either way. No support either way.
Any sense.
50-50 on the
Are you
on the
still in a
child
relationship with this woman? In quotes?
relationship, as in we are raising a child together, and that is where it ends.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, even that's like surprising, that you're able to do that nowadays. Like actually prioritize raising a child together, presuming you're not still active sexually or courting one another, I guess.
No need for foolish things. It would only result in more children and then more expense and more aggravation.
Right, and less orgasms for her.
Right.
All right. Let's move
I get
forward.
mine every time.
We know. Let's move forward. Israel-Hamas war. Man, this is terrible. Look at this old woman they killed now. This is going to get you guys fired up. Support more democracy. Yep. They killed this. I think it's I don't know if it's the man or the woman. We're going to show both of them. These are some nice old people, and Hamas did something bad. And it's your fault, okay? Because you didn't stand with Israel. You didn't give aid like you were supposed to. And now you're going to have to watch this shit.
Learning today of an Israeli-American hostage murdered by Hamas. And this was the 73-year-old. He was abducted along with his wife, Judy, who is still being held captive as
You still got Judy, you see?
Wounded here.
How do you feel now?
Judith is still alive.
Shut up, Nubs. You didn't give any aid. You didn't stand with anyone.
As well, let's bring in our next guest here.
Didn't even vote.
Christopher O'Leary, the
Damn
senior
straight.
vice global operations with the Sufan Group. Thank you so much again for your time right here on
Merc and flag. Oh, he's got Tommy guns, Merc and flags, everything.
And so, unfortunately,
guy's a
learning
Merc,
the dark reality of this war, and really when you see these pictures that go along with the names, it really hits home just how horrendous this Hamas group is.
Well, people quickly have forgotten, unfortunately, that Hamas is a terrorist organization, that on October 7th, they killed 1,200
You guys forgot
Israelis
that.
and citizens from around the world.
Everyone keeps forgetting Hamas is
They
a
took
group of terrorists.
hostages,
Not
which
nice
is a
people.
violation of international law. It's a violation of U.S. law, obviously. But unfortunately, that was quickly eclipsed by the catastrophic devastation going on in Gaza. And some of these victims have been
It's
lost
like,
in
whatever.
that conversation. I think this is a terrible reminder, but an important reminder
He's
that
smiling.
These are your Republicans. He's just pissed that anyone brought up the dead children and women. He's like, whatever. Okay. Everyone keeps forgetting here. Hamas is terrorist. We're bombing for a reason. And now you want to show me pictures of women and children. Don't care. I'm trying to get shit done here, people. Daddy's taking charge, and you shouldn't be asking questions.
there are legitimate victims out there who are suffering right now.
Yeah, I mean, that is so true. And I'm so glad that you said that there as these hostages. I mean, I can't imagine every hour.
How do
every
we know
minute,
this?
every
I'm going to keep
second that
asking
you
it.
are held in captivity.
Hold on. Let me see
Just
if I could do
thinking-
magic again like I did last time. Because as soon as I said there was no war footage, like 8 hours later, they released it for the first time. How do
wanna
we
see
know?
body footage.
Shh, it's Fox Noise. Rupert Murdoch watches this broadcast. I happen to know. I believe that. I can't prove it. How do we know that these hostages even exist, Rupert and others? It'd be great if we could just get a video directly from the hostages, knowing that they're there. Some kind of like, remember the Daniel Berg thing? That was intriguing. Get us some tape of these hostages, some kind of, why are you laughing, Eric? Now
don't they put up pictures on the side?
No, that's not good enough for these. Shut up. You don't get it. That's not good enough for these conspiracy theorists. I'm telling Rupert Murdoch and Hamas, release a video right now showing these people tied up so we can really get invested in this. How do you want us to get invested in this propaganda if you won't really sell it? Come on, give us everything that we need. I'm telling you, it's going to work. The last time I did this, 8 hours later, we were 80 days in. I go, we haven't even seen one clip of on-the-ground warfare. Boom, they gave it to me. And it wasn't conclusive, but I appreciate their offer and their enthusiasm. They had 5 guys running around an empty city shooting at shit, and there was nobody on the other side. I go, well, you ask and you shall receive. I mean, I'm working here, okay? You guys don't know what I'm doing, but I'm getting it out of them. All right? Go back and check that. I want you to go back and check the one piece of footage they released so far, the day after I asked for it. And you tell me what it looks like.
Are we sure that wasn't an airsoft battle?
It looked, again, I can't say it was conclusive, but they did say it was on-the-ground war footage. There was some Arabic graffiti in the background on the wall. Did appear to be the Middle East, and they were shooting guns. Who am I to question that?
Have you ever been to an airsoft field, sir?
No, I haven't been there or the Middle East, and I've never gone to war technically.
Quite convincing that it could be very well a Middle Eastern town in some of these airsoft places. And, the guns are the same, except they shoot a different caliber.
I did once fight and win resisting against somebody who tried to take one of those chicken nuggets from me at Sizzler back when I used to eat meat. He had the tongs and everything. He tried to come in on me. I had a pair of tongs. He got his own because they put tongs on everything. So sometimes people go rogue. They'll grab tongs from something else, try to go in on you with the chicken. And I fought that off, staved that off. Brian Stavely?
This man needs a medal.
Attack off. I don't know why that just came into my mind. Brian Stavely's been around lately, so
I find forks
you need
work
a medal,
better.
Sir, for your. I didn't hear you, Wizard. I was interrupting.
I said I find that forks work better than tongs. You get a much better retraction that way.
I like the meat fork.
All right, please.
The 2-prong one.
Increase
viewership
among French people. Is there anything at all we can do to increase viewership among French people? I think we need more French people on this panel, and I think that's important. I'm not sure why, but I just feel like it's important. I have a feeling. I have a strong feeling.
Well, now that I'm releasing my new line of scented oils, I think more French people show up because they're known for not bathing. So I'm already on it indirectly. You see how the spirit moves, the synchronicity. Let me see here.
How does one acquire such oils?
Well, you can't because they're not for sale. They're so limited in their edition that they can't even be procured. But for all the folks who are regularly gifting with a certain gift, they will receive complimentary Jesus Piz and Gorilla Goo. Okay, that's going to be the new hit. So
interesting.
We got to give folks like Brian O'Shea and the rest of this audience something to boost their hygiene, right? And boost their attractiveness. Maybe just make it smell better in whatever car they're living in at the time. So we're helping. Okay. All right. Hundreds of migrants moved to Denver. Yeah, my buddy Dave goes, Denver's great. I go, I think you're a little bit confused. Next day, hundreds of migrants bust in. Great stuff.
In Denver, in less than 24 hours, 16 buses packed with migrants arrived in Denver.
Party in Denver.
Confirms 9 bus loads arrived last night. this morning from Texas. Overall, there are about 3,800 migrants right now in shelters in the metro area. This comes as it is expected more than 10,000 migrants crossed the southern border into the United States in each of the last 3 days. Your reporter, Brian Sherrod, is live in Denver right now. Let's go to him. Brian, you met with many of the migrants today who are unsure what to do next.
I'm not sure
And
what
Alan,
to
the city
do
of Denver
next.
tells me at least 340 migrants have been
All of
dropped
a
off
sudden,
here.
all right, Talflex. If you can somehow make Jack Talcott a migrant, I don't know why, but that's funny to me, right? Because he's always saying he doesn't know what to do next and he's confused. I want Dante there to say, many of these migrants confused and don't know what to do next. Cut to Jack Talcott saying, I'm confused and don't know what to do next. I don't know where he's migrating. He's an Israeli migrant, is what it is. That's
He's
how we're
migrating
selling
out
this.
of that house.
The house is migrating and he's becoming a transient.
Since last
Not a bad
night.
place to be.
Many of them don't even know where they are. They're unfamiliar with this area. Now, with them being in the area of Zunai and Spear, many people tell us, including one woman who works there, that it's just making it difficult for her to work in the area right now.
This has
My
become ground
goodness.
zero for migrants in Denver. Many struggling for food and money, even asking our crews for help.
Well, the good
when
news
we're
is
there.
Tommy's going to
All
get
the
some
migrants
really
we spoke
pure
with didn't
fentanyl
speak English,
going
but
forward.
through
so.
translator, we found out
Straight
they
from
are
the
originally
coyotes.
from Venezuela, Colombia, and
Or they're
Guatemala.
going to kill him.
Jarena, who works
Mr.
at the Shell
Aluma
gas
Tommy,
station at
do you want
Spear in
more?
Zunai, tells us she tried to help, but didn't
Mr.
get a
Aluma Tommy, I hear you do a broadcast.
Bad to me. I'm the only one who speaks
They really
Spanish.
suck at
I try
sweeping.
to help them. I try to explain the rules, but they don't like it. Too many people.
She totally
they are
missed
so
it.
bad with me and with my boss.
No, Mr. Aluma Tommy, I don't want to go in your
migrants are
apartment. It's
currently
filthy
staying
in
in
there.
shelters, specifically for migrants
I'm only
across the
15.
city. But
The
resources
migrants
are
won't go in
dwindling.
Aluma Tommy's apartment. It's too dirty.
Resources. We're already limited
No.
as is, and it's just straining an already strained system even further.
With the shelters reaching capacity, the city is working to find migrants jobs and housing. They tell us they are doing whatever they can to keep everyone off the streets, especially children.
So we recognize everything is much more difficult with a child. That's why we've given families that more time. We don't want children on the streets. We don't really
No, that
we don't
is a
want
true
anyone on the
statement.
street.
Like, think about it. Mountain climbing, much more difficult with a child. Like, just think of any activity, much more difficult with a child. Anything, Nubs? Can you give me an example? Something that's much more difficult.
I've definitely
with a child.
I've mountain climbed with my child, and it is much more difficult. You know,
right?
Poor little guy fell off, and I had to drag him up the mountain.
Hey, I've been on Mount Elbert in Colorado once without a child, and then once with a child. Guess when I made it to the top? With that.
Right.
Did you see any migrants while you were there, climbing the mountain next to you? With
Sneaking into countries, sneaking into
were six.
countries illegally.
I counted. There were definitely at least 6 migrants climbing the neighboring
Yes,
mountain.
sneaking in the country illegally. Definitely. Thank you, Nubs. You're insanely retarded and offbeat. Have a horrible sense of timing.
I just have the same sense of timing as you. That's the
Why
issue.
do you have that intonation constantly? Can you do anything about that?
No,
I mean, that's part of it. That's
why do you want to change me, Paul?
Can you just
you sound like my ex-wife.
I've never heard
love you,
anybody so
but-
monotone. You're like Ben Stein's nephew.
Could you imagine getting a lecture from me as my child? He literally wants to rip his ears off.
Oh man! All right. Well, where do we go from here? Where do we
Back to
I don't know what
Hamas.
to do, man.
North.
Back to Hamas.
Just head north. Due north. Eventually, you'll get to Dead Horse. So
It's a nightmare, but it's time for Donald Trump to go back to Trump Tower.
It's been a nightmare.
Yeah,
Let's go, Donnie.
that's your uncle.
Rubio.
Come on, Donnie. I learned from the best.
I'm not fickle. I've been a conservative in Hollywood for 40
Nubs
years,
Stein.
and it's cost me plenty.
I can't
No
even say
matter.
I'm a
Loyalty is
conservative in
sacred.
Hollywood
I'm
because
Listen,
that would be really
it's
weird.
one for one. I don't even know who's talking
We're
right
the
now.
party of Dwight
Is that
Eisenhower
Ben
and
or is that
Ronald
no?
Reagan, whose charisma was based on dignity. We're the party of George W.
Your
Bush, who made
charisma is
terrible
absolutely
mistakes.
based on integrity and dignity.
Now comes Donald Trump. He talked on a hot mic about the most lewd acts
Fucking
imaginable.
Donnie.
He talked on a hot
Donnie
mic
shaking
about
hands.
grabbing women by their genitals.
Donnie doing the thing. You know, that thing.
All right, let's
That thing
move
that
forward.
Donnie does. I'm
right,
surprised your dad doesn't like me.
No, please. You're horrible on the air. No one likes you on the air.
We need
Well,
more.
I've been trying to act like my uncle, and you know, I mean, he's got a great career, and maybe I just need to be.
Your daughter
like,
just
more
thumbs
into
down the
Hollywood.
stream. Your daughter's an infant. She just thumbs down the stream because you're on it.
There were 2 thumbs down. Thank you.
All right, let's move forward, Nubs, please. Canadians are in trouble this year, and there's something they need to know about returning gifts. Apparently, they're not allowed. So, there's no more returning gifts, people. Things are bad. All right, let's get to it.
As people come together to enjoy the holidays with family and friends, there may also be an exchange of gifts. In fact, Canadians are expected to spend almost $900 on gifts this year, according to a Retail Council of Canada survey. But when the holidays come to an end, some purchases may head right back to the store. Retail advisor David Ian Gray of Dig360 says shoppers should research return policies to know how much time you have or if you can return it at all.
I think the more careful we are in our research on the product we're going to buy in the first place, be it for ourselves or someone else, probably the better it's going to be for everyone involved.
For some stores, there may be no returns for a certain period of time, such as during Boxing Week. And depending on the business, you may also face a restocking fee, especially if bought online. Retail analyst Bruce Winder says it's in part due to online shopping's popularity and the higher rate of returns that retailers see.
Most retailers now are looking for ways to try to re-engineer the processes and sort of the risk involved and the costs involved.
When it comes to what you can and can't return, it's best to check with the retailers. But there are some items that can typically not be returned at all, including underwear, intimate items, skincare products if the seal is broken, and often
the
final
seal is
sale
broken
items.
on that intimate
It's why
item.
Robert Damigala of Return Bear says if you're stuck with an item, consider passing them along instead of putting them in the
Yeah,
trash.
Nubs, don't try to return your fucking fleshlight this season slightly used. All right, you're gonna
The
catch
seal isn't
restocking and
broken.
cleaning fee. The seal has been broken.
No, it
That's
has not.
intimate, Mr. Nubs. That's an intimate item. Okay, you're gonna have to pay for steaming and restocking fee. There's some steam cleaning and restocking that's gonna have to go on. These people
Just
are now
spray some
making money
piss
on
on it, it'll be
restocking
fine.
shit. Hey, I'm gonna start. I think I now have a list of folks' address. I'm now sending you things. And if you don't pay for it, or if you send it back, you're gonna have to pay for restocking. Okay, that's just gonna be part of the new rules. So just look for me to send you some stuff now over the next week. You're gonna have to pay for that. If you send it back, you're gonna get hit with a restocking fee. Business is business. Man, we're gonna do well. First quarter. 300 animals seized from a trailer. Nubs creature. Polk County hoarding case. So let's get to that. These are the kind of panel slaves that come on here. 300 animals in a trailer.
This is very sad for me. I miss my cats.
Animal control officers seized more than 300 animals from inside this
People are
double-wide mobile
disgusting.
home in Polk County, an operation that started on Thursday night and continued through Friday. Investigators with the Polk County Sheriff's Office say they could smell urine at the entrance of the property in Frostproof.
Turns out
where
Brian
Lisa
O'Shea was
Lesherette
parked there.
lived with her elderly mother.
Lisa is not an evil person. She is an overwhelmed cat lady.
In a press conference, Sheriff Grady Judd said that 142 cats roamed freely inside the home, where dirty litter boxes lined the walls and feces covered the
How
floor.
grotesque.
3 dogs, more than 100 ducks, chickens, and geese, and 1 peacock were also inside the home and on the porch.
These animals were neglected and abused just by the environment they were kept in.
Charette, a 48-year-old second grade teacher at Frostproof's Ben Hill Griffin Jr. Elementary, is now facing more than 300 counts of animal abuse and 1 count of elder
They're
neglect.
they're gonna put her in
The
prison
sheriff's
now.
office says
They
they were
put some
alerted
old
to
cat
what
lady
they're
in
calling a
prison.
hoarding situation after La Charrette took 22 of the cats to SPCA, Florida, to be spayed or neutered. Vets there told detectives that the cats were missing fur, infested with fleas, and many had respiratory infections.
She made a comment that
Doesn't
the
look
ones
that
still
bad.
at her property are in way worse condition.
Officers
just
see
a loving
all but
cat
3
lady.
cats and 3 dogs, doubling the Polk County Animal Shelter's population.
We might have to now do a welfare check on that cheap girl woman. She has 148 cats inside of a double wide, and she goes, "It's not that bad."
Don't forget the peacock.
Like, it doesn't matter how much you keep up on that. There's no way that place doesn't smell like urine and feces constantly. 140 something cats in a double wide trailer, and it's not that bad.
Hey,
There's
but some
probably
people
black
like that
plague in there.
smell. Some people only feel comfortable when they smell that. It reassures
Yeah,
them
the
that they don't
people who
need
got those
showers.
aliens that invade their brain, those parasites, the fucking toxoplasmosis. They're in there huffing urine and feces because they've had their brain rewired. This is not okay, people.
They're watching
can't
Fox
support
News. Right now they're watching Fox News with those cats.
These cats, look at that cat. It can barely open its eye. This woman needs to be put in prison immediately.
It's the one eye agenda. Even the cats are involved.
Right. Illuminati confirmed. This is like the Epstein Island of cats. Okay? We're going to get the list.
That'll be perfect.
To help
Paul.
make room for the cats, the county is waiving adoption fees through the end of the year. The chickens and geese will be sold at a small animal auction.
So come get a cat or a dog, a special friend forever.
I'm Jessica De Leon,
This guy's
ABC
pushing
Action
animals
News.
now. I mean, like, we need to go back to those days, man, where I could not only do a broadcast, I could also somehow be sheriff of the town, and I could do little bits like, yeah, we got the crazy cat lady. She had 150 cats. We're not going to put her in prison, but come on down and get a special friend. We're going to redistribute these cats. It's just, that's at least
Hell,
preferable.
take
You
4
guys,
or
like,
5.
she's not evil. She's just crazy. Just come on down and take the damn cats. Let's move on with it. The 300 counts they hit her with. So there's a good chance that they're going to like shoot her in front of the firing squad for having all those cats. We're never going to see her again, but the cats are going to get a nice home.
Can you imagine being this? Can you imagine being the children that were in that lady's classroom with her constantly smelling of cat feces?
Was she a teacher? Did they say she was a teacher?
Yeah, she was a teacher, a 2nd or 3rd grade teacher, or having.
This is what I mean.
like,
Everybody who's in a position of authority and power is all crazy and insane and just filthy. It's just not looking good for America. It's just not looking good.
We need to sing some patriotic songs. We got to get the patriotism level up. Right now, the patriotism level is dropping. We gotta get that patriotism. Get it moving. We need some Star Spangled Banner this stuff up. We gotta.
How's the secrets, Eric? Now, it's 9 children hidden for years in Oklahoma home. Something about, I guess, that phrase, because there's kind of a 2 homes in there. So Oklahoma home found after police tip. So 9 children hidden for years.
A house of
This is the actual
secrets and
Epstein Island.
abuse. In August, Oklahoma City police got a tip that a man had multiple children with his stepdaughter. That report would unravel a family and shake an entire community. Thank you for joining us here. I'm Jessica Shamba.
I'm Evan Onstadt. Tonight we are hearing for the first time from the adult children on life behind those closed doors, as well as the hero who would turn him in. KOCO's Kylie Thomas has the exclusive story you'll only see on 5.
This cul-de-sac in southeastern Oklahoma City looks like any other. But inside this yellow house was a man with a secret, and one woman would unearth the truth.
It just took someone paying attention. And believe it or not, he was telling on himself every single day. No one listened.
A family of 11 lived here. Mom, dad, and 9 children, hidden away from the world.
They never left the house only with him.
The children had never been to school, the doctors, or even a movie theater, all to conceal a secret they never knew was wrong: their dad's relationship with their stepsister.
Did you know that the younger kids were your dad's kids too?
That I already knew about. I never knew that it was anything wrong with it.
We just grew up like if it was normal to us.
At 12 years old, their oldest sister had her first baby with their dad, according to court documents. She gave birth to 4 more inside this home. KOCO sat down with 3 of the siblings who wanted to share their story.
But when she had her first baby, you were just little.
Yeah, I think I was 7 or 8.
Did you ever question why you guys weren't allowed to leave the house more?
Not too much, because Dad always said that he didn't want us to get hurt, or because he protecting us because of the people that are outside.
But that would all change.
I was looking for someone to paint the ceilings, and he answered the ad.
Doris Cole hired the father in 2017 as a contractor. She was opening several businesses at 10th and May.
They looked really crazy every day. From the clothes that they wore, from the smell.
He started taking 2 of his teenage daughters to work, and Doris picked up on something she couldn't let go.
They couldn't read, they couldn't write.
He tried to homeschool us, and then it went from trying to not doing.
And the speech was really bad. When I first met her, I thought she had an accent.
She would question the family's homeschooling, the father's persistent phone alerts, and the van packed full of food and clothing. But there was nothing overtly wrong.
Every day it was driving me insane because there's nothing I could do about it. It was nothing I had to tell the cops.
Until she met the stepdaughter.
The first time I met her was in the hallway. And I said, man, that girl looked like she just had a child. She was young. And he was looking at her as if she was some sort of candy. I started putting stuff together. I said, okay, maybe those kids are hers and his.
The family became distant. Doris believes it was because she was asking too many questions.
This woman is like, she's the Black Murder She Wrote. You know, she put it all together. This woman, you know, see something, say something. So this will teach you, Eric Nellis. If you're gonna fuck your 12-year-old daughter, don't go around town bringing her out the house. They'll get you. You know, concerned citizens.
But they came back 2 years later looking for work.
Now this time I said, okay, I'm not letting this guy
on
get
it.
away
Looks-
until I figure out
looks-
what's going on.
And this time, the father told her the truth.
He said, well, this is not my daughter. This is one of the kids.
Gotcha, bitch.
This is my lover. And that's my wife. I said, what?
After 7 years, Doris had the proof she needed.
I seen him kissing her. And I said, you know what? This is it. I called the police.
Detectives began interviewing the family. Worried he would take them and run, Doris let them stay in one of her homes as she worked with police without the family knowing. And on September 21st, police surrounded the home, but Dad wasn't there.
They'd asked me if I knew where he was, and I said, well, he's at his other house. He said he was coming back. And so I called him and I said, hey, you know, the police are at the house. He's like, did they see the kids?
What was the feeling inside of your house?
I was hurt because my dad took forever to come.
The adult kids were left alone with their secret siblings, waiting for their dad to face up to the crime.
I'm amazed, at the same time, amazed and shocked that I'm looking at this entire family I've never seen before. I've seen bits and pieces, and the condition that the little ones were in. I never imagined.
Court documents reveal the kids had poor hygiene, foul odor, lack of dental care, and were sleeping on one heavily soiled mattress on the floor. Investigators say 2 of the children were nonverbal. After 3 hours, Dad finally showed up.
I stood there on the porch. I didn't get to see his face up front, but I saw him from the porch. That was one of the most satisfying days probably in my life, to watch him go get in the police car.
All right, take a seat for me.
Both mom and dad were arrested. The father's charged with 3 counts of sexual abuse of a child, 5 counts of child neglect, and 3 counts of child abuse. His wife is charged with multiple charges for enabling neglect and sexual abuse.
Both see her also as a victim. Do you see that too?
Now, yes.
You don't think she should be arrested?
No.
Court documents reveal a child told forensic investigators her dad had touched her privacy because he was a doctor.
I never thought that dad would touch us or say anything sexual to us, so I never worried about it.
How did you watch that? How did you hold your daughter's hand while she's having a baby by your husband?
I can't hate them because hate is a strong word. I could only forgive them. I could only forgive my dad. And I could leave the rest of it into God's hands.
Today, the adult kids still live in Doris's home and work for her. They're now enrolled in school.
I'm doing better at my reading. So I read a book yesterday.
Have their first IDs, are learning how to drive, and working to get their sister's children back to her from state custody.
You have a 26-year-old that can't read, can't write. How does she teach her kids that can't read or write how to write?
Now, looking back, do you feel grateful that Doris intervened?
Yes. Because she was helping us out.
It's just hard because I was the one that did it, but I'm also the one that's taking care of it.
Now, Doris hopes the community can wrap around this family and lift them up as they navigate life for the very first time.
So I'm hoping that that if there's anybody that wants to help, that is a genuine help. I mean, they've already been lied to and hurt their entire lives. So I'm hoping that their journey in this world and the people that run into them would remember that.
Reporting, Kylie Thomas, KOCO 5 News.
Very bizarre. I guess you have to wonder how much of this goes on and is left unspoken because it's taboo, and how much of it is a disorder, right? But this kind of again speaks to the animal nature on some level of our beingness. But yeah, no doubt about it. Definitely very bizarre. Not only your own daughter, but a 12-year-old at that. So slaves never fail to, bring forth exciting narratives for us to experience. Your thoughts, wizard creature, Nubs, Eric Nellis?
Wow.
It reminds me of the Rats of Nim experiment.
In what sense?
The Rats of Nim. Do you remember that movie, Mrs. Bigsby and the Rats of Nim, or the book?
I may or may not. Refresh my memory. What are you getting to here?
Well, the book is very not about the experiment. The experiment is actually NIM stands for National Institute of Mental Health. And basically they took rats and put them into different scenarios to see what the result was of these scenarios, because humans act like rats in many, many ways under many different research studies. It's a very interesting read if you ever want to look at it. You start limiting freedoms and, creating tunnels of usage, and all of a sudden shit starts going weird. Some of the rats turn gay.
Are very complex and very magical creatures. We really are. Human beings, we're like big, advanced, highly developed rats. We're like big rodents.
I agree.
In many ways.
Jack has obviously read the study.
It's like when they're in their they're in a state of addiction and their fear patterns. They're like little fucking rodents going around gathering stuff, and they get in a corner and they get all fearful, build a nest. It's like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm remembering memories. You should have seen some of the shit I've been through, man. Some of the stuff I've seen. People are nuts.
Those asylums are terror.
Safely here alone. Me and my cats. Praise God, man. Praise God. We are very.
Your thoughts? You were saying, Nubs Creature?
I have to agree with Jack on that one. In all honesty, it's a very interesting read. Go figure out what the Rats of Nim is all about, and it's very telling of today's society. You know, including the dad that wanted to be a dad again like 6 times by his children.
Right. Okay. UK economy at risk of recession. I'm just going to move right along.
Perfect.
Official figures have been revealed. So shocking that countries all over the world are facing recessions and possible depressions and economic collapse. Who'd have thought?
If you can't celebrate this weekend, you never will. And Christmas has delivered the seasonal shock this Bristol restaurant has been waiting for after another very trying year.
In places, it's been amazing, and in certain places, it's been, this is a little bit sketchy here and there. It's the back end that people don't see. The back of house. It's the rise in utilities. It's the energy costs. Obviously, it's the kind of staff costs, which is also going up. It's something you can't paint a picture for guests.
It's a recipe for hard work that's been repeated across an economy that's performing even worse than we thought. New data from the Office for National Statistics has revised down growth for the second and third quarters of the year. Growth of 0.2% in quarter 2 reduced to 0, and in quarter 3 from flatlining to minus 0.1. These are small margins, but they put the UK on the brink of a technical recession and the Prime Minister, who pledged to deliver growth, on the defensive.
Compared to the predictions at the beginning of the year, the economy has done better, and we've actually grown faster than our European neighbours like Germany, for example. But of course we want to see more growth.
Christmas has also come to the rescue for retailers in Bristol's arcade. Small businesses who've spent the year battling inflation, just like their customers.
I try to plan forward in advance, so I'm already considering next year's wage increase. So I need to adjust the hours of the shop, maybe open a bit longer to get more sales in.
When the system slams you with big energy costs, high the interest rate, rents go up. Come on, anyone can see what they're doing to the people, innit?
Even in tough times, we make an exception for spending at Christmas. But economically, it feels like the hangover has come early. In truth, we'd expect the economy to slow with interest rates rising. And if there is something under the tree, it's that inflation is falling faster than expected. So this may not last quite as long. The experts know you can't keep everyone happy at Christmas.
There we go.
Come January, belt tightening may be less a New Year resolution than a necessity.
Merry Christmas.
Paul Kelso, Sky News in Bristol.
Well, there you have it. We'll go right into the Bitcoin news. Cryptocurrency, of course. Best performing asset of all time, argued. Maybe slated to be that way on purpose, as I've argued. But yeah, Bitcoin up thousands of percent, tens of thousands of percent since its inception. So yeah, let's see what the report on that is.
Approval of a Bitcoin ETF. We get it. Ever. Turbocharge Bitcoin and other crypto, maybe like Solana in the new year. Let's bring in Anthony Scaramucci on this, the founder of Skybridge Capital, noted crypto investor as well. How shocked, if I had to have, with everything else that has gone on with crypto, okay, with all the problems, this Bankman-Fried character, a bunch of other things, and someone said, but Bitcoin's going to go up 160%, I would have said, what is in your eggnog? Because I want some.
Yeah, listen, I mean, it's very hard to understand why it
went up that rapidly for the persons that are not studying Bitcoin. But if you step back and look at the 14 years of Bitcoin, or now almost 15, it is easier to understand for those people. And I've been in Bitcoin since 2020. And so, yes, I see why that happened. And probably, since you mentioned Sam and some of the other nefarious actors, they probably pushed it down too far at the end of last year, Brian.
Yeah, because I do also want to remind our viewers that may not be crypto investors or follow it every day, Bitcoin was at 60,000. So we've had a hell of a run this year. It's been great, but we're still well off our highs. Do you think next year, or if we ever get a Bitcoin ETF, that high can be breached?
So I've been embarrassed by my predictions in the past. I thought it would have gotten to 100,000 by the end of 2022. If you recall, in November of 2021, we got the Bitcoin futures ETF, Brian. And so I thought that was going to come. I filed, Skybridge filed, not me, but the firm filed for a cash Bitcoin ETF. It was rejected alongside of Fidelity and many other players. We'd elected not to do that now because of the competition. So a lot of this stuff got dragged out because of the regulation. But if you're asking the question, will Bitcoin get through its all-time high? I believe it will. I don't know when. There could be some selling pressure, sort of that whole buy on the rumor, sell on the news in the beginning part of the quarter. But if you're asking by year end, hopefully you'll invite me back. I think we'll be through the all-time high. But I've been embarrassed by my predictions before. So I'm a little hesitant now, a little gun shy, a little humbled.
Well, listen, you and everybody else. I mean, you heard the top of the show probably that, Anthony, that pretty much every big name on Wall Street whiffed on the year for stocks. Do you just invest in Bitcoin? Because we're seeing a lot of enthusiasm around, still, again, altcoins are back. We talked about Solana. It's up 400%. You've got Ethereum. You got some of these other coins that are really getting hot. Makes me a little nervous, right? Because a lot of momentum, probably a lot of retail money here. Do you invest in any of these altcoins?
Yeah, well, I'm still doing, when we met back in 2009, I'm still doing the same thing. We have a broad hedge fund of funds portfolio that's up about 25% this year. Our Bitcoin exposure obviously up 160. We have a ETF called Crypt, CRPT, which is up over 200%. So about a third of our business is in cryptocurrency. But you mentioned some of the names that we own. We do have exposure to things like Solana, Ethereum. We own something called Vulcan Forge, which is a very small video gaming company. But Algorand is another name that we own a lot of. And so we do have some of the, what we would call the altcoins. But the big kahuna in the room is Bitcoin. I have something called Casper Laboratories. I mean, those are just some of the names that we have. But I think you're asking a broader point. Do we invest outside of Bitcoin into other Web3 tokens? And the answer is yes, but the preponderance of our money is in Bitcoin. We got there in 2020, so we're one of the first institutions to get there, but we're still institutionalists. So we sort of stuck with the quality of Ethereum and Bitcoin being number one.
All right, so there you have it. Bitcoin up tens of thousands of percent since the conceptualization. Making another run, it looks like. ETF supposed to be approved in January. Apparently the SEC meeting with a lot of the top folks, BlackRock included, ironing out the details. So obviously you see macro optics at play. If the snafu creature was here, he'd say optics are high for digitized currency. So I guess if you're looking for an investment, but then you're going to have to navigate the tax situation and the rest of it potentially. I don't think necessarily this stuff is regulated yet officially, completely. They're working on it. That may be one of my actual news stories up there, is the forcing of legal regulation. I know I have this as well. Let's go to this little number. U.S. states make a bold move to reclassify gold and silver. Well. December 24th, 2023. Hello?
That's interesting, isn't it? Reclassifying something that has already been classified for what, eons?
Well, Wizard, the proposed legislation would remove barriers to using gold and silver as money. It's weird because they put up barriers to not use gold and silver as money and switch this over. And now they want to say they're going to pull the barriers down to use gold and silver as money by lowering transaction costs, whatever that means. The bills also, more importantly, aim to treat precious metals as a legal tender. Legal
Yeah,
tender,
but
breaking down the Federal Reserve's monopoly. So they're selling this as a good thing. We're breaking down the Federal Reserve's monopoly. Yeah, but you're emboldening the Bar Association's monopoly, trying to claim that now gold and silver will be treated as legal tender. No, it's not. It's lawful money. And they're not the same thing. This is a
right, and
larger
when they
effort at the state. Go ahead.
and when they try to reclassify it as legal tender, that's again another attempt to come take it from you as their property. What is an obligation or other security of the United States? All legal tender.
Right. So we know the pimping and hoeing game. Like I say, the whole world is pimping and hoeing. You just don't know it. So they're going to put up the barrier, then claim they're going to take it down for your safety because they're going to help you out. And they're going to reclassify gold and silver as legal tender so they could try to track and trace and eventually at some point take it if you don't follow the proper statutes, policy, and code. So it seems on a macro level like folks are preparing for something. You're starting to watch your silver price rise. You're starting to watch Bitcoin, other speculative assets rise. You're starting to watch them position to seemingly move over into digitized currency and to reclassify gold and silver as legal tender. And they're going to help us because, we're like so in debt. The money system is so fraudulent that the ubiquitous they help to create, obviously. With their falsified wars and collapses of banking economy at the time from false information, fake news, as Donnie has said. So they're going to do it again because, again, all the world is a stage. We're all players upon it on some level. And it's all a loop within a loop within a loop. So they tend to, history, if it doesn't repeat, tends to rhyme, it would seem. So nothing to see there. We'll move right along. I'm sure it doesn't mean anything. No big deal. Did we do the Bitcoin bounces back above?
BlackRock
Okay.
and the NASDAQ meet once again to hammer out just how a spot Bitcoin ETF would work. And PitchBook's Robert Lay gives his outlook for crypto venture capital investments in 2024. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Talia Kaplan. Cryptocurrencies moving higher this morning. Bitcoin jumped more than 3% by noon Eastern, now trading back above $43,000. Ether also climbing, it's back above $2,200. Polygon's Matic token also got in on this morning's gains, rising to 78 cents. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has been a strong advocate for crypto in Washington this year, and he's pushing to move the needle on crypto regulation even more next year. He spoke to CNBC's Tech Check on Tuesday and explained why he donated to a group of crypto-focused political action committees that are heading into the new year with more than $78 million ready to deploy.
The goal of that PAC is to elect pro-crypto and pro-innovation candidates in 2024. And there's 52 million Americans out there who have used crypto now. That's 5 times the number that have a union card. It's 3 times the number that have used an electric vehicle. And so this is a massive constituency, and they don't feel like their voices are being heard in DC. So I think it's time to make sure that people know that being anti-crypto is just bad politics in DC.
Now, Armstrong has warned that he thinks crypto talent could leave the U.S. if regulators get crypto rules wrong. Next, the SEC just met with BlackRock and the NASDAQ again over the asset manager's filing for a spot Bitcoin ETF. In a memo published yesterday, the SEC said it met to discuss how the proposed ETF would trade on the NASDAQ under the exchange's commodity rules. Late last month, memos revealed that the SEC also met with other...
Now, let's be clear. The only reason they're doing this is because, again, they want to tax it, trace it, regulate it. So rather than them just have a free market, open market of everybody just go buy the damn coins and put them away until they go through the roof and then get rid of them and then, take that value and move it. No, you got to get all the slaves to like officially buy it through the ETF. So you never get to own the actual coins. You just get stake in the ETF. They get to make a whole bunch and regulate it and leave you whatever profit. So they'll be happy, right? It's going to bring in a whole bunch of value. Many folks who got in early are going to moon, as they say. They're going to be getting their Lambo and all the rest of it. So yeah, I mean, if you're smart, you saw this coming a couple years ago, as I did, and you started to at least take up a position with a certain amount of value. Where it all goes, again, like I spoke with Crow 777, we've been on a highway to hell for the longest time. So we can all play, moral high ground and self-righteous. But the reality of it is everybody's using fiat currency. Everybody's tied to a stock market. Many folks are invested in that crap. If you're invested in that crap, why not a couple of years ago put a few thousand on some shit that's 1, 2, and 3 cents? When it goes to $1 or $10, you fucking move it out into land, gold and silver, and apparently legal tender now because gold and silver is going to be reclassified that. But you see the game, right? It's about money moving. If you want to be successful, you got to make a certain amount of value and then just kind of move it, right? You move it over here, you diversify, but it's always money moving, essentially. And the name of the game for them is if you start to learn how to make your money work for you and be a money mover, they want to figure out how to tax you 10 different ways along the way. Because they don't necessarily want folks like Paulie the Gorilla to become self-sufficient and self-sustainable and empowered and inspired and co-creative and be able to do what they do, right? Because all they do is just set the trends or follow the trends. They get in and get out based on the trends. And then they encourage you to get in or get out based on where they're at on the trend. So crypto was the worst thing ever for 15 years. It was nonsense. It's all going to fail. Now they're mass adopting it this year, apparently. They're coming out with ETFs. BlackRock's involved, the SEC, they're all meeting. And we know where it goes long term. This has all been kind of laid out great reset style. So, yeah, I mean, don't hate the player, hate the game, I guess, like they used to say. So, all right, let me get
What
back to it.
happens when the player writes the game?
In what sense?
Well, if BlackRock is meeting with them, aren't they a player in the game and then setting
It
the
doesn't matter. It
standards?
doesn't matter. I myself and many other folks knew what they were going to do. And so we've diversified and taken up positions, getting out ahead of them, right? See, that's the thing. Retail markets or individuals can get out ahead of the trendsetters and trend makers, but then you got to hold through all the fear and the chaos while everyone else loses their mind. Then at some point, they're going to trick the slaves or they're going to give the slaves an opportunity and they're all going to funnel their value in. And then that's when your shit goes up and then you cash out and move that back over to the land and whatever else you're creating that's real. Because all this shit is gambling. All this shit is illusion. It's mirage. It's not real. It's all overvalued as well. It's a bunch of people basically like I am getting out ahead of it early and making speculative bets because they know the fiat currency is going to be worthless at some point. It already is. It's backed by nothing. So if you have any value, you're going to diversify a little bit of gold, silver, guns, ammo, some land, and you're going to take some bets with crypto because you have a lot of upside potential and very little downside potential if you get in early enough. If you have a potential to 10, 20, 30, 100x rather regularly in this kind of game, then you take that opportunity with what you can afford to lose. Right? Because you already know if you hold 5,000 at the bank over the course of 5 years or 10 years, whatever it is, you're going to lose a percentage of that to inflation anyway. So if you're anybody with any kind of value sitting there, you don't want to let it sit there because you're getting hidden taxed, if not directly taxed. You got to outcompete inflation. That means your money has to hold its value or has to work for you and make more. And the only way you're going to do that is by taking calculated risks. Unless you're going to open 2 or 3 businesses and then hire folks to essentially run them, while you oversee. So, yeah, I mean, that's part of the game, man. We have to start to think and in some ways act like the folks that we keep shitting on and hating on, right? They're trendsetters or they're money movers with the trends. So unless you want to sit there and play self-righteous, we're too good to play with crypto or to play with gold and silver or the rest of it. You're using fiat. You're already in it. You're already part of it. So unless you're going to check out completely, go grow your own shit completely again, which some of us are working on as well, because we don't want to necessarily have to play in the game forever if we do it all. We don't want to necessarily be beholden to the game. The game is the game, right? You could play it or not. If I want to put it aside and walk away for today or the next however many years or forever, I got my land, I got my food, I got my herbs and my medicines, and whatever my life and lifestyle is, as sustainable as possible and self-sufficient. So that's the goal, right? But again, we have to get beyond this good and evil when it comes to using the tools for what they're meant for. Um, and two, we can't ignore an opportunity, in a sense, right? Every one of us, if you could argue, at some point we've been born. There's been an opportunity in our lifetime, no matter what time you're born in, for folks to get out and get ahead, right, and to make their situation work for them to be better off in the future. You know, you can't argue it. For Wizard or whoever else who's a little bit older than me, they had an opportunity at some point to stack and put their shit into gold. If they would have went and bought gold when it was $200 an ounce, they already 10x. So they outcompeted the inflation. Didn't matter if it took 10, 20 years, however long it took. You still outcompeted the inflation. Because if you took 20,000 and you put it on gold and 10 years or 20 years went by and you now looking at 200,000, you're where you need to be. So it's not even necessarily about focusing on the numbers or seeking the money or chasing the bag. It's about, let's say that the bag shows up and value shows up. What the fuck are you going to do with it to hold the value or to create more value? And I think that it's important for folks to start to think that way. All right, let me get back to it. Let's hear all about how they're working behind the scenes to essentially either game everybody, because they may just pull the rug out at the last minute, let it run up, and then say, no, it's not going to be this year. You're going to have to wait. Or they're going to roll it out this year. Bitcoin's going to go to probably around 100,000 or more. Folks are going to 20, 30x. They're going to go crazy. They're going to think that their life's set. And then I believe there's going to be an event over the next 3 to 5 years. Macro.
Other asset managers, including Grayscale, ahead of the much anticipated decision.
What I understand too, this is what it looks like when you have a collapse of an economy. You start to get an everything bubble because they just start printing more money than ever. You start seeing more liquidity than ever. You start seeing people gambling more than ever. And then you start to see stock markets like just hit a new high yesterday. You start to see crypto hit a new high. You start to see gold and silver hit a new high. And then you're going to get a bubble burst. And then everything's going to be reappropriated to what it's actually worth. And that's when a lot of folks are going to get their shit taken by the banks. So go look at the price of a home 20 years ago and go look at it now. It's 2 or 3x. You see the game? So everything, because of the inflationary value behind this whole system, is 2, 3, 4, 5, 10xing. We're in an everything bubble. It's got to burst at some point, and then we got to get back down to reality. So I believe the coming next year, 2, 3 years, you're going to see unprecedented highs that are going to lead to unprecedented lows, because that's just the nature of things. What goes up must come down. And again, all because of the, skyrocketing debt, the printing of more fiat currency ad nauseum, and therefore the more artificial stimulus and liquidity that's coming in, along with the idea of gambling it, because we all know where it goes at some point. It's basically, borrowing from Peter to pay Paul, as they used to say. It's all just musical chairs, and then at some point, you're going to have to find a seat, and we know not everybody finds a seat. Far from it.
The SEC also met with BlackRock last month and presented the agency with back-end details of how the proposed ETF could work. Last, Epic Games is bringing back blockchain-based games to its marketplace. The Epic Games Store announced that Gods Unchained and Striker Manager 3, which are play-to-earn blockchain games, have returned to the marketplace after Epic updated its policies. Normally, Epic doesn't allow games rated as adults only, but the gaming giant told us that some blockchain games were rated adults only because they were blockchain games. Going forward, Epic said the store policy will allow games rated adults only solely due to the usage of blockchain and NFT technology.
Right. So that's what you do with that, right? And again, I may have some of that Gods Unchained, right? Because I may have looked into what the slaves are up to. Just like Warren, Pop Warren Buffett. He might sit at home and kind of do a little search or open the paper and see what the slaves are up to. Oh, slaves are into 5D gaming headsets and wanting to stay in an alternate world all day. And then, you find out that Xbox and whoever else is uniting to add this item to their marketplace. Well, if I go look at that and Gods Unchained is 2 or 3 cents and they just added it to Xbox Marketplace and Ubisoft and it's something the slaves are into, I already know it's going to go up, right? It's just common sense. So you start to think that way. If you're going to make, your value work for you, you start to look at the trends and you start to use common sense and say, this seems very undervalued compared to everything else in its arena, especially when the macro environment is gaming is big because slaves want to get locked down and sit at home and play games. So I'm going to move value into sectors where I see, even if everything goes to shit, what are the slaves going to do? They're going to sit at home and play fucking games and gamble their money. So I don't do that. I don't play video games and gamble my money. If I do take a gamble, I put value in gambling platforms. So I invest in them because they're new on there. Because I know that as it proliferates, slaves are going to want to use their crypto to game and make more crypto back or spend it in game, or they're going to want to gamble their crypto on virtual horses. So you got D-Race, right? Which is one of them. I'm just naming certain things I may have a piece of. That's common sense to me because gaming is big right now. The narrative is hot. Slaves, like I said, like to get locked down and play games with themselves and each other, and they want to make crypto while they do it. So I'm not going to waste my value playing the shit, being involved in it. I'm going to put my value on the fact that you're going to use it and play it because you're a stupid slave. And I'm going to capitalize off of my investment in the company or in the organization or in the idea because it's life on life's terms. I'd rather you not be a stupid slave and play video games, but you're going to do it. So I take life on life's terms. I tolerate that and accept that. And hey, how can I make it benefit me and everyone else in my life?
Yeah.
That's essentially what capitalism is. And you could argue that it's less than ethical at times. But what do you do when you tell the slaves everything you need to tell them and you give them the game and they've already been given the game? And if there's no direct harm, right? I'm not investing in I don't want to say it because Snafu's always saying it. Cynthia, the blank advocate. Years ago when they were starting up this whole thing, you didn't think that I knew if I wanted to double or triple my value that I could have just put my value on certain companies because I saw it was coming forth. I didn't do it because I didn't think it was ethical, right? So there is a line with me. But when it comes to you using your free time to play with yourself and each other, I'll capitalize off that, right? I'm not going to go put my money on Slave Derna and Slavizer and all the rest of it, But it did occur to me, right? When this shit all started up, I go, I already know where all the shit's going to funnel into. It's going to funnel into certain elements of tech because they're going to need tracking and tracing. And it's going to funnel into certain elements of medical. And sure enough, the shit went 3, 4, 5x and then dropped back down. So you get in and get it and get out. But I didn't do that because I have a line when it comes to ethic. I'm not going to directly invest in slavery and genocide. I mean, you could argue even that is kind of far enough. You want to put on the Google headset and play all the metaversal games, that's on you. Again, I'm going to be on the land, growing my own shit, doing a couple hours of broadcast a day and getting back to the land. And I'm going to be fucking apportioning value based on you choosing to be a slave and living in another world. That's your choice.
Hey, Paul, what you just said, the simple part, live life, the life on life's terms, that's simple, but most people miss the simple. Most people are so distracted by those video games or there's so many stupid distractions, and it's all just different ways to not live life on life's terms. And in any case, thought I'd at least put more emphasis on what you just said, because that's the thing that we all have to recognize. Live life on life's terms. Stop trying to pretend that you can ignore the consequences and get away with it forever. You might get away with it for a day or 2 days, or you might even get away with it for a year or two, but you won't get away with it forever. So you might as well go ahead, step on up, live life on life's terms, recognize if it's stupid, it ain't going to work. So.
Yeah, I mean, like I've explained it, you basically have these systems and then you can basically set up a funnel in there to redirect the value toward your purposes. right? And they all do the same thing. There's value funneled every day. They just step in between it and funnel it toward their purposes. You know, so long as you're not causing any loss, injury, and harm, and you're not lying about whatever you're doing, I don't see the wrong there, right? If I have to set up a bucket to capture the liquid, essentially, that you're all going to funnel in, that's going to go to slavery anyway. Yeah, I'm going to get in early, set up my bucket. You're going to funnel all your value in, and I'm going to redirect it to my bucket. I'm going to walk off, and I'm going to go fill that other hole, right? You know, so you could argue again, because I had to look at it. I had to go, how much am I afraid to constantly get into these things because I want to do the whole everything's evil and devilish? And go, no, you're tricking yourself out of position because they're going to turn on a spigot and the value is going to come forth, and that's personal choice. And you could funnel all that value back over to something that could be a purpose and meaning. You know, and as long as you're not lying and cheating and stealing to do it, I don't see the problem. All you're doing is capitalizing off other people's discernment or lack of it, which again is a choice.
Yeah.
Especially when on the other end, you're telling folks exactly what it's going to be. It's not like I'm up here altering my presentment to pad my account. I'm telling you the whole game to the point where it could impact me and what I have value on, because I'm giving you the real deal. But at the same time, I'm just like your masters do. They'll go, here's going to be slavery and genocide if you fund it and support it. And then they go and fund both sides, right? They go, we're just going to fund both sides because it's going to be personal choice on both sides, and it's going to lead to a third outcome. So, yeah, when you see the move and you see the trend and you're speaking the truth and living it and you're offering everybody the opportunity to not get slaved out and they want to do it anyway, well, at that point, then I'm going to take all that value that you're mismanaging and I'm going to funnel it into something that I think is of a better cause than just investing in fucking, you know, digitized slavery and playing games online, you know, and trying to gamble.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Jackie Chan, what's going on, bud?
Oh, nothing. Bro, nothing. Hey, do you guys want to check this out?
Check what out exactly? You're in a very dark room. Whoa. And what is that, Camp Rock by any chance? It is, isn't
Yeah.
it? What are the odds? I was just like sitting here going, you know what I haven't seen in a while? Camp Rock. And I'd love to. What's with the middle finger there? Is that for me or for Camp
I love
Rock?
that film. I love that fucking film.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. This movie is similar to Bodyguard: A New Beginning.
All right, but fuck that shit, because I want to see you. You're the star of the broadcast, okay? The people love you, Jackie Chan. Let me see you, man.
I don't want to
see you. Yeah. There he is.
What's that song?
I have no idea. I can't hear it completely. All right, Jackie Chan, turn it off and let me talk to you. You're gonna hit me on copyrights and shit. You're gonna get me hit up. Yeah, that's the thing. I'm hearing a whole bunch of noise in my ears, and you're gonna get me hit up with copyrights.
Let me turn it down.
Yeah, turn that shit down, bro. It's all about you right now. Fuck the rock.
Yeah, I just turned it down.
That shit's old.
Because
bro.
I love Camp Rock, and I'm waiting for my other DVD.
Yeah, I love Camp Rock too. Whatever, but you're the newest, hottest, freshest thing.
But I'm
Camp
waiting for
Rock is
my
old.
other widescreen DVD of Bodyguard: A New Beginning.
Who's paying for all this shit? Can I ask?
My auntie.
Your auntie. Can I have a word with her, please?
No.
What do you mean? Oh,
Wait a minute. Come on.
He jetted quick. He goes, nope, bye. Oh man, why does everyone have that? Every time I want to meet someone's family, they do that. I go, yeah, this is going great. So when do I meet your family? Like, bye. I mean, am I that off-putting? Am I that Shrek-like? Come on, Jackie Chan, don't be upset. Don't avoid me. I
Jackie
know you
Chan
love me.
moves quick.
Well, that's the thing. I barely saw him. He's got all that training in martial arts and doing stunts. I didn't even barely see him leave.
And he actually does his own stunts.
Dude, wait till you get some of this fucking Jesus Piz oil that I just fucking concocted. It smells amazing. Got frankincense in there. I got cedar wood. A little bit of teak wood. Oh, it's amazing. Smells like success, Nubs creature. Smells like wealth and success and power.
I can definitely agree.
Smells like
Cedar
everything
like
Jack
success.
Talcott's never going to get. What?
I build cedar fences and I build them nice. I can definitely agree. Cedar has its successes.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with these natural wood scents, right? 100% wood oil. And I've just been kind of mixing them with this natural base oil. And yeah, they got some good scent. A lot better than this other shit that they push out there. I go into these places, I smell these slaves with their wicked perfume on. It's terrible. Give you a headache, Nubs creature. But this is the next level. This is next wave.
It's actually a very old
100% natural oils that smell good and are good for your skin and your system and your consciousness to keep you relaxed.
Have you figured out how to procure the woods and make your own oils yet?
Well, that's the next step. I've thought about that.
It's an easy step.
I want a
easy
special kind of
step.
wood. There's just one wood that's really expensive and rare, and I want that. And I want to soak it and heat it in that juju oil, and then see what happens. I'm in an experimental phase right now.
I can definitely appreciate a good experiment.
I don't know what Eric Nellis is doing, but I'm just going to kind of ignore that.
It's best that you do. It's best that you do. I barely know what I'm doing, but this is some sort of if you know anybody who needs custom soap, this is a tool that mix it. Like, have you ever seen that soap that's got weird sparkly stuff in it? That kind of soap. This is one of those tools for moving the sparkly stuff around so that the soap has a lot of little sparkles in it. So it's a very important tool.
So somebody put a lot of expense into creating a metal stir stick that you can make out of a twig.
Amy,
Pretty much. Well, hey,
Mary
I think
on the
you're probably right
river.
about that. That's probably true.
Rolling on the river.
Hey, where's Auntie at, man?
What?
Where's Auntie at? I want to talk to Auntie.
I'm flipping you off.
Yeah, I see that.
Bullshit.
Could you go get Auntie? I want to talk to Auntie.
No, because you're gonna watch Bodyguard: A New Beginning.
No, I am, but I want to talk to Auntie first. Go get her.
No.
You want me to go over there and have sex with your auntie?
Nope.
I'll do it.
Cool. Nope.
I'm telling you, kid, I'll do
That's what
it.
he's afraid of.
You better go get her and have her talk to me, or I'll come over there.
No.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
No.
All right, Moose, I'm gonna get over there.
No.
I might have to shut this broadcast down because he thinks I'm kidding. I'm gonna come right over there.
Kidding.
I'm gonna break that DVD.
Hey, no.
I'm gonna inseminate Auntie, and you're gonna have to listen to her moans and groans from the other room.
No, I don't like moans and groans. I don't like it. I hate when I get sex.
Wait a minute.
What?
We gotta get the patriotism level up back up. How?
Yeah.
I'm concerned about the patriotism.
So you were
Ever since
joking,
this
Paul?
fucking communist Jackie Chan came in here,
Paul, are you joking?
We need to get the patriotism
No, I'm
back
totally
up.
serious. What do you mean am I joking?
Star
Look,
Spangled
Eric.
Banner.
Eric, look.
Star Spangled Banner.
What?
Let's get the Star Spangled Banner going on 3. 1, 2.
Come on, Jackie Chan, get on camera, man, and
can't
sing
even
more
make
for
it
us.
to
Do
3.
something. You're boring me.
No, this is Bodyguard: A New Beginning.
I don't give a fuck about that.
No, you don't give a fuck because this movie is similar to Gen Y Cops.
I don't care about that either. Get back on camera, or I'm coming over there to see Auntie. It's not going to be good.
No, line up in the girl, line up in the stream. Rolling.
Good shot. Dude, what kind of
Rolling.
medication are you on?
No.
No, what? That wasn't a yes or no.
If you guys are gonna watch the fucking Camp Rock, because you're gonna watch that, I'm gonna have to call Demi Lovato.
Here we go, Demi Lovato.
Are
Dude,
you?
do you ever leave the house?
I do for school. Yes.
That's it, right? You go to school, you come home, and then you stare at this fucking screen and all these clowns on it, huh?
No, they're not clowns. They're singers. See, this is one of the best movies of 2008.
Am I gonna get in trouble? I think this kid's 18.
Hey, Paul. Paul. Do you know this movie was filmed in 2007?
Dude, how much do you fucking slap it to Demi Lovato? Be honest.
I don't know.
Or Ashton Kutcher.
Or Mila Kunis.
Mila Kunis. He's got all
From
the names.
Extract.
You're slapping it to Mila Kunis over there?
Yeah. Is she from?
Yeah.
Is she from Extract or no?
What?
Everybody needs to exercise right now. Everybody's been sitting down too long. Everybody has
Hold
to
on.
start
Hey
exercising.
guys, if you don't know what movie,
guys,
wait,
we come
wait,
here
guys,
every day.
what movie?
Guys.
Hey,
Guys.
Eric, what movie is this?
Hey, dumbass.
Eric.
Hey, dumbass.
Eric.
Yes.
Dumbass.
Yes.
What movie
God
is
damn
what?
it, Paul.
You dumbass.
What movie is this?
Everyone's got to appreciate. Everyone's got to fucking bow down and suck my dick in public.
God damn it, Paul.
Now we're back.
We're not back. We're not back.
Yes, we're back.
We're not.
You're an idiot. You're not listening to anything I'm saying.
You're not listening to anything I'm saying.
How many people are they? How many people?
I asked you a direct question. How many times did you slap it to Mila Kunis this week?
I don't know. I haven't slapped her. Only I watch her on TV.
No, how many times have you like humped that pillow pretending it was Mila Kunis?
No, I'm not pretending. No, I'm the I'm your bodyguard. These are the bodyguards.
We're so fucked.
We're so fucked also. Because is this
What did you get us
bodyguard
into,
the new
Paul?
beginning or no?
Why do you keep naming movies, dude? Let it go. This is what. Go get Auntie right now. I swear to God, I'm gonna have a talk with her. I can't have you trapped in that fucking room all day, every day, staring at this fucking screen.
Hey, you know what? I'm turning.
Now you think that this is real. You think that you're in the fucking Camp Rock with Mila Kunis. You're not. You're in a dark room. Your life is passing you by. Oh my God. All right, well, if you're just going to sit there and point the fucking camera at the screen, I'm going to let you go. I want to talk to you. I don't want to see these clowns.
Carl is this. All right. We rock. Camp Rock. Camp Rock. Camp Rock, go.
Yeah. See, now that's the spirit.
We rock. Camp Rock. Camp Rock, go.
Yeah, give me more of that.
Salute. All right. Salute. Salute. Saludo.
Salute.
Saludo.
You piece of shit. I'm fucking sick of you.
Sorry, that was Ian.
Oh, you're all right.
Ian's mad.
I don't know what that is. But are you going to let me go or what?
I mean, yeah, you got shit to do.
No, Swim. No, I'm not talking about Auntie. I'm talking about the movie Camp Rock.
All right, well, sing a couple more bars. Like, you're boring us with the fucking screen. At least when you're singing, it's good. I told you, a good singer.
We rock. Camp Rock. Camp Rock. Go.
Yeah. What else? That's it. Why are you giving the middle finger after that?
What did I get the middle finger to?
I don't know.
To who?
What are you up to over there? How bad does that room smell that you're in?
Great, beautiful.
Yeah,
I have my DVD.
Show the floor. Show the floor of that room.
Fucking DVD.
Let me see.
of my
Let me see
Bodyguard
around that room.
fucking
I don't give
at
a
the
fuck
beginning.
about Bodyguard. Show around that room.
No.
That of iniquity. Yeah, show it.
No.
Show it because you know it's filthy in there.
Quentin Tarantino.
Smells like a hamster's cage, I bet.
That's why he's got all
Quentin
the stuff.
Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino. Isn't he dead at this point?
No.
Hey, I'm still concerned about patriotism. Or can we get a patriotic?
Oh, man.
We
Paul.
need a patriotic song.
Hey Paul. Hey Paul.
Yeah.
Oh you Paul. Oh you
We gotta
Paul. Oh you
up to
Paul. Paul.
Yeah.
How many are they?
How many are what?
How many? How many?
1.
No. 4.
7,
1.
4.
1.
8,
4. 4.
7.
4.
Of the
No,
coming
4.
of the Lord is trampling out the vintage where the grapes are ripe for store.
Paul, how many are they?
How many are what, man? I don't know what you're saying.
Those people.
I'm gonna throw you out soon, man. You're boring everybody. Just sing more or get out. Talk to me or get out. I don't care about these people. You're harassing
We
me.
rock. Camp
Yeah.
Rock. Camp Rock, go.
That's good. Give me more of that. Stop teasing me with just one line at a time and give me it all. I want the whole thing.
We rock. Camp
Right.
Rock. Camp Rock, go.
All right. How do I get? Okay. If I give you instrumental, will you give me the whole thing?
Well, yes. I love Camp Rock movie, but it is one of the best movies of Disney Channel original movies.
All right. Do
Harry
you know this?
Croaky.
Do you know this?
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you know this song?
Yeah. We rock. Oh, yes. Let me turn it
Go
down.
ahead. Give me the karaoke. I even got words up there.
No, no. I want the Demi Lovato one. Right inside
Come on, bro.
of me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let it show. It's time to let you know. Just let you know. This is real. This is me. I'm exactly what I'm supposed to be now. Oh, I don't want to sing the whole thing.
Come on, man. You're fucking really get into it. You
I'm
got
a
a
sing-
gift. No,
I'm a singer.
No, you got a gift and you're fucking wasting it.
I'm a singer. I'm
Now
a singer.
Give it to me all, or I'm throwing you out. I'm getting
No,
everything I can.
I'm throwing you out. I'm throwing you
You can't throw
out.
me out. I throw you out. You can't throw me out.
No, I'll throw you out.
You don't have the power to do that. Try
Yeah.
it right now. Try it right now. Throw me out.
He's going to throw you out, Paul.
Are you gonna throw me out or what?
Oh, there you go.
Oops.
See
Drew
what
him out.
just happened? Oh, he left. I was gonna bring him back. I was gonna bring you back. I just put you out in a minute to show you. All right, well, he's gone now. Come on, man. Give me the whole Demi Lovato vibe, or just fucking don't show up next time. It's not because I don't love you. It's precisely because I do love you that I really want you to perform at your best. So just really put your heart into it. Give me the whole thing, or just stay home. You know, there's no mailing it in.
You need to have a
Okay.
conversation with Auntie,
But
man.
a flying dog.
Who would have thought Jackie Chan loved Demi Lovato so much? Yeah, no, the dog's not impressing me.
I wonder if they met
Crypto-
on an island.
No, please. Crypto riding perfect storm of tailwinds heading into 2024. Okay, we're crypto heavy here.
Crypto charging higher into the
News.
year end on approval hopes for spot Bitcoin ETFs and the promise of Fed rate cuts in 2024. Bitcoin is now trading above $43,000, a level we have not seen since April 2022. It's now up more than 160% year to date. Joining us now to discuss is Fundstrat Global Advisors Vice President of Digital Asset Strategy, Sean Farrell. So, Sean, when you think about where crypto is now, you say now is an opportune time to be fully allocated in the market. That's a quote. What's the thesis behind that?
Yeah, first, thanks for having me. Right now we have this perfect concoction of both macro and industry specific tailwinds. Obviously everyone knows the dovish sentiments from the Fed a couple weeks ago, or last week rather, really put bears on their heels. Certainly suggested that inflation was tamed, and regardless of whether it is or not, it does seem like the worst of the tightening is behind us. And then from an industry specific setup, we have, obviously, as you alluded to, an ETF approval that is anticipated to come within a few weeks.
Hey guys!
Hey, it's good to have you back.
I'm sorry for what you guys did.
Wait, you're sorry for what we did?
Yeah.
That's not how an apology works.
Apologize, princess.
Yeah, you can't apologize.
This.
You can't apologize for what we did.
Hey, is this Bodyguard a new beginning?
No, this is Bodyguard the ending. As in, I'm
No.
gonna throw you out if you don't get back to the fucking song and sing it with a purpose.
Is this Bodyguard a new
I'm
beginning?
not letting you out of this. I'm not letting you out of this. So we're taking it from the top. Give me the real deal, man. The people need it. This is me, Camp Rock. That's you.
I'm flipping you off.
No, you're singing this right now, and I'll sing
No.
it. Come on. I've always
No.
been the kind of girl
No, only
that
Demi
hit my
Lovato
face.
does. Only Demi
I was
Lovato.
afraid to tell the world what I got to say. I have a dream, and it's deep inside of me, and I'm gonna let it show. It's time to let you know. Come on! I'm giving you the fucking background and everything. I don't even know the goddamn song, and I'm showing the fucking.
This is real.
Come on, man! Don't make me
I'm
fucking carry this
exactly
thing
what
like you
I'm
do everything
supposed
else.
to be.
I don't even know this song.
Got a jingle.
Well, now you're doing it. Now you're fucking piping up, huh?
Best martial arts action super
Did you fucking come to Camp Rock today or not?
Yes.
Now let's go. I'm taking it from the top again. I want to hear you.
Okay. This is me from the movie Camp Rock.
Right.
Sorry.
Fuck yeah. Come on,
Fuck
with
yeah.
the intro.
I've always been the kind of
girl
that hides my face. So afraid to tell the world. To say have a dream.
Come on.
But inside of me, I'm gonna let it show.
All right, you know what? We're done. We're done. You're really fucking.
I'm gonna let
You're really
you
pissing me
know.
off, man.
What?
You're really pissing me and Demi Lovato off, okay?
No, I'm
She didn't
pissing you off.
No, she didn't write the song for you to just fucking mumble through it, okay?
No,
So I
she's
have to-
she's saying
No,
now
you're a
she's
piece
no,
of shit.
no,
That's
no,
I got Demi
no.
Lovato's fucking text, and she just fucking texted me right here.
Princess
Said,
is
"You're a piece of
offended
shit."
too.
Bodyguard, a new beginning.
Yeah, Bodyguard, you're ending, pal. It's
No,
all over.
Bodyguard, a new
No,
beginning.
you had an opportunity here, and you shit on me and this audience and Demi Lovato, and she's sick of it, and so are we.
Bodyguard, a new beginning.
No, it's not happening.
Bodyguard, a new beginning. Bodyguard,
We'll see you later,
a new
Wizards
beginning.
Waving. We'll see you later, okay? Go get Auntie, because I'm feeling frisky after that Demi Lovato song. And I don't think Princess will have me.
Yeah, I
Okay.
might have to mute Princess.
Right. Man, So hard to find a fucking boring performer these days. I mean, I can carry the Demi Lovato song. There's no doubt about it, but it's this kid's rap, you know? This is his vibe. This is his lifestyle.
He doesn't know the song, man.
All right, Joyce, get Wizard his medication, please. It's about that time. It's usually around a 3 or 4 o'clock hour. Okay, Jen is here now. We're coming up on the third hour, so, you know, we're going to have to wrap it up here. It is the Christ Killer mass celebration. So, your thoughts?
I was
You
trying to
guys
give
hear
Greg.
me? My internet's kind of shitty. Oh.
I'm sorry that I.
He goes, okay, let's hear you sing it.
Go ahead, Jim.
You did hear me sing it. And it's more, I more kind of rapped it, you know. I don't know how she sings it. I don't know the song. So I can only do it in my stylings, right?
And I'm guessing and I'm suspecting the comment that you just put up, Paul, was from they wandered over from my channel. So if you see them and they have trolls
Hey,
comments,
hi, how are you? Let me see. Hey, Paul, how are you?
I'm well. I'm still well. Good.
Hey, Paul, let me see the text of Demi Lovato.
No, I'm not showing you her number.
Let me see.
No, because you'd keep fucking texting her and calling her. You're not
No,
getting
let
her
me see.
number.
Let
I'm
me
not
see.
showing it. No.
Let me see. Let me see her text.
No,
Let
it's
me
a
see her
private.
text.
No, it's a private conversation. It's between A and B. See you later.
No, it's for Demi Lovato to go to Venezuela.
No, Demi Lovato wants nothing to do with Venezuela. It smells there, and they're poor and broke. Okay.
Apologize. Sorry.
Second on the list is Canada. She will not be appearing there.
What? Hi, Brandon.
Brandon Looney Tunes fan. It's been a while. How you doing, Brandon?
Yeah, that's fine. And there is a student in the audience button. If I hit that, this stream will be ported over to my channel.
Okay. I'm for that.
Hi, Brandon.
Hello.
Look at this.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to have you talk over Brandon. Okay? So,
yes.
You let him speak. Now go ahead, Brandon. What do you got for us?
Look at this.
Hey, you little
I'm
slave. I'm going to come over there. Silencio. Go ahead.
I'm almost to 2,500.
2,500 what?
Subs. 11 more to go.
Subs. Are you still running like 5 broadcasts a day? This guy's like booked out weeks in advance. You can't even get on with him because he's got so many scheduled broadcasts and guests.
And
you still full on your schedule?
Yes. And how much do you enjoy my channel?
I really enjoy it, man. I mean, I was just telling somebody like earlier. I was like, man, Sky Brandon, Looney Tunes fan, 2000 channel's like off the chain.
And there is a stream in the audience button. If it hit that, this stream will be ported over to my channel.
Oh, okay. That's the second or third time you said that. I kind of see what you're doing there. You're almost kind of compelling me to send this whole audience over to your channel indirectly. You're not asking for that, but you're just letting me know what's possible.
Yes. Well, should I do that?
You're able to do that? I don't even know how to do that.
Have the up. There we go. There we go. I hit it. So now this stream is on my channel.
Oh, okay. You mean restreaming. Right.
Yes.
All right, well, that's good. The only problem is though, Brandon, is that we're ending in like now. Like we ended the 3-hour mark and we're 2 minutes over. So that's good. I appreciate that. You could do that more often. But now that you're restreaming, we got to go almost right away.
Yes. And do you have a favorite Looney Tune character?
Favorite Looney Tunes character? I'm gonna have to go with, I think, the classic on this one, the Bugs Bunny.
Yes. And there's a hate comment right there. Tell them the Looney Tunes.
Hi guys, I'm back.
Oh, hey, what's going on?
Hello
Yeah,
there.
we missed you. I was like, hey, where did he go? And then
I'm right here streaming with 5 new users.
right.
Brandon, are you all right?
Yes.
I'm all right. Do you want me to? Who is Demi Lovato?
I hit the bell on your channel, by the way. You're an okay user.
What is this? Some kind of reverse Jeopardy question where you give the answer first? Who is Demi Lovato?
And you're an okay
Name a untalented whore who has way too much success and fame and little to do with it.
Rachel Nichols.
No, who is Demi Lovato? That's the thing.
A singer.
We were playing the reverse Jeopardy where you give the answer first and then I
a singer. Is she a singer?
All right, let's try again, right? Who is gonna be thrown out of here?
No.
no, that's not the answer.
You said who is Demi Lovato?
No, who is Jackie Chan?
Me, the martial
The
artist.
man that's gonna be thrown out of here. See? We gave the answer first and then the question.
Hi. Hi, Paul. Hey, Paul. Who is Megan Martin?
It was the August button. Here's an
Megan
accent.
Martin. Megan Martin. Bodyguard, a new beginning. Bodyguard, a new beginning.
So you just make a habit out of laying on your side in a dark hall and just yelling out "Bodyguard" and "New Beginning." This is what you do all day,
dude.
Auntie doesn't have a problem with this. Auntie's not concerned with your behavior.
I wrote in on the private chat, Paul.
So, like, what does Auntie say about all this? All this noise coming from that room.
I don't know.
Do you think that Auntie thinks you're a little retarded?
No.
No. I'm saying for yelling out Demi Lovato and Bodyguard over and over again.
Look. Wait, is it a Chinese movie or British?
This is my first time.
You're asking questions again that I can't know the answer to.
But Paul, Paul.
Did you put your favorite Looney Tune character?
Paul, have you seen Michael J. White and Mickey Rourke, The Commando?
No.
The Commando.
Sir, I don't watch movies, Jackie Chan.
I do.
I don't.
And that's all you do, and I'm worried about you.
I love Michael J. White.
Oh my God. This is what I mean. I can't even have a conversation with you without you yelling about somebody who we've never met.
Yeah, and did you pick your favorite Looney Tune character?
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
I agree. Definitely my favorite Looney Tune character. I didn't know that was an option. Sarah Michelle.
Do you know Sarah Michelle Gellar, Brandon?
You know my second favorite Looney Tune character is Demi Lovato.
No.
I don't even know that character even exists on the Looney Tunes.
Mine is a tight squeeze between Beaky Buzzard and Egghead Jr.
And Demi Lovato Jr.
Is that even a Looney Tune character?
You better go ask Auntie to send me a gift for the holy days. Giving you all this airtime. I'm promoting.
Mine is Roboto and Wile E. Coyote.
Bro, get the fuck out of here. Look at this, you guys.
We don't care about that. I'm going to retrain you to not every 5 or 10 seconds just throw out the name of some bozo movie star and keep showing the screen.
13.
This is what Auntie. Hey, where's your father at?
No, he's at Mexico.
No.
He's
That's
at Mexico.
never good.
He's in
Yeah,
Mexico
what's he
trying to
doing
cross the
there?
border.
I don't know. My father, he's at my
getting a
biological father.
lobotomy.
He's at Mexico for doing something until
Yeah,
he
he's
goes
trying- he's trying to
back to the U.S.
He's trying to cross the border so he can get a lobotomy.
My favorite's Rogan and
Charlie.
Wally
Well,
Coyote.
Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
He's trying to get some of those cheap medications without a prescription. It's a
Charlie.
number pain.
Hey, Charlie. Hey, Charlie.
13 plus.
Charlie.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yes.
What?
Hey.
Look at this, Charlie.
Hey.
Camp Rock is
I'm doing
a
talk right now. Hey.
Camp Rock is a Disney Channel movie.
Wait, did it film in 2007, Brandon?
Oh my god.
Yes, a Disney
Why is
Channel
this
original
kid's
movie
mic
from
all the
the
way
late
up to?
2000s.
Dude, I was born, Brandon. I was born.
Right, you were
I
born.
was only about 6 or 7 years old.
Hey, can we refocus? Can we get back to me?
Yeah, I'm hanging out with you.
I know, we're hanging out and you keep fucking showing me pictures of the screen and talking about people we've never met. This is really awkward for me.
Is this American Me or is this Bodyguard?
No, that's the thing. We're hanging out and you keep bringing up movies. It's so awkward for me. You don't even mention anything I've ever been in.
Awkward.
Santa's
Could
live
you bring
on
up
Jack's
something
Outback.
I've appeared in? I've appeared at Taco Bell at least twice this month. You don't bring that
I
up.
could deal with some swear words, but not F words and S words. Like PG, there's like 13 plus.
Come on, Jackie Chan, man. Talk to me, your buddy. Paul Unslaved. I'm right here.
Look, Charlie.
I'm gonna have to, you know what? I'm calling Auntie, man. I got Auntie's number here from last time.
There we go. The mic is finally working.
I'm calling Auntie
Santa's-
right now. Look, he ran off.
Santa's making a special appearance on Talcott's.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Okay, let's wrap it up. Give me the final word.
Merry Christmas.
Great. Give me the final
Yes.
word, please. Yes. Give me the final word, please. I'm out of here.
Okay, that's all, folks. Pookie
That's
Pig.
all, folks.
That works. Well, you
Yeah,
know me.
my channel doesn't really have any swear words too much. My channel doesn't
Well, you
really.
know, listen, Brandon, okay, I get it. Your channel's better than mine. You brought up 2 or 3 things already that just kind of lend us to believe that, you know, you're doing better over there. I mean, I'm not
Yes.
surprised. Yes, okay. I get it. You know, you're streaming constantly. You got an audience. There's no swear words. There's none of this crap going on. Like whatever he was just doing with Demi Lovato, whatever. So, okay, great. You know, you don't have to brag and rub it in my face. You're doing better than me. What else?
Yep. I usually saw old school cartoons for people to hop on the panel.
Right. And I don't do any of that.
Well, that's even more. Did any
What?
of you subscribe to my channel?
Yeah, I'm sure that now that you're here, a lot of folks are going to subscribe and never come back here ever again. So you're cool with that, I'm sure.
Yes, I come whenever I mainly come to panels if there's a stream to your audience button now.
Right.
If
All right.
if I hit
All right,
it,
Brandon. No, yeah, it already went. Let me wrap up here because I got to go. I got some stuff
Okay.
to do out back.
13. Okay.
Go ahead, Wizard. Give me the final word, please.
Well, you know
My-
me. I'm gonna keep it short and simple like always. You know I love you, but I don't give a rat's ass whether you love me back. So may God bless you today and every other day. Have a good one, folks.
God bless us, everyone.
Some
you.
minus.
Nubs,
That's-
please.
You
Brandon
already
is
gave your Porky Pig, Brandon.
Nubs.
That-
Nubs, please. Go ahead, Brandon. What were you saying?
The Pookie Pig.
He's jealous of you, Brandon, because he has a horrible channel and no one watches it. Because he's uninteresting
Even
and has
myself.
a monotone voice.
Yep.
Yes.
He's not even subscribed to his own channel.
Right.
My own avatar.
Right.
Yep.
I need to get a better avatar, is what he's saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
I usually.
Brandon, you don't see the creativity in my avatar?
It's a box inside of a vehicle.
No. That is a vehicle that has been hit from the behind
Hit from
And
behind.
we needed to make sure that it was secure for safety.
Yes.
Quality. Anyways, my last words are following on Wizards about a rat's ass. Check out the Rats of Nim. Way better than anything that Looney Tunes did.
13 bucks.
He's looking at all the new subscribers. I'll catch you guys later.
Yeah. All right, Nubs. Go ahead, Brandon. I'm going to let you out. We got to wrap it up, but we appreciate you.
Okay. I did put if I do streams and other users, I put 13 plus on the title just in case.
Perfect. That'll work. All right, I'm going to let you out. Go ahead, Joshua. Give us a final word, and then I got to go.
My final word is just Merry Christmas to everybody, especially those that are going through tough times right now. If your holiday hasn't been joyous, just hopefully next year will be better, and hopefully you have a brighter future to look forward to. I was trying to interact with some of the folks on the restreaming on my channel. I'm not sure, how that's working, but we'll figure stuff out as we go. But anyways, thanks for having me up.
Right. All right. Well, blessings to you, of course, you and yours during this holy day season, as it's named, or as it's spoken of. I'm going to let you out. So, yeah, folks, it's been a resounding success. Another year in the books, coming up on the new year, as they say. It's been a great time at Unslaved Industries. I think we've learned a lot, had some ups and downs. But I wouldn't change it for a thing. So let me thank once again the contributors and supporters in front and behind the scenes. You are a blessing. Let me thank my Snafu Snaps creature, of course, pig creature, if you will. We're constantly roading up news stories and controversy. WAP, Young Money, Mr. Colt, D.H. Jones, of course, consummate professional. Of course, the Foxes, Joshua, Beerly Creature. All right, too many to mention. Okay, I don't want to do an Ian and have a 45-minute intro or outro. Nothing but names. All right, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, Mazel Tov, the whole deal. I'm out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, as always, 7 days a week. We don't stop until further notice. We're 500 and more straight at this point. So, blessings, grace, mercy, abundance, empowerment, inspiration, co-creation, the whole deal. Feels good to be alive. So, all right, folks, I'm out of here. Peace and love, brothers and sisters.